Game over.
And what is up? Welcome back. It is Friday night, and you are here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I am here with my co-host Brian. What is up, my dude? What is going on?
Yo, Crispy, what is going on, bro? Like, dude, it's the weekend, bro. We're here. We made it through the week, man.
We made it.
Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend.
Because every time we come to Fridays, I'm real like I anticipate this moment.
Yeah,
I really do. During the week, I'm like, man, I wonder what I'm going to talk about this week, and I wonder if we're going to make 3 hours. And we always do. It never fails to do 3 hours. And then in my mind, I'm like, man, we're going to talk for 3 hours. That's nuts. And then like when we're here, it feels like it just goes by so quick. But how was your week? Tell me how your week was.
Dude, I mean, I really can't complain. I know I come in here every week and I say, oh, it was a great week. But honestly, it was a very great week. Like, it was very relaxing. It was my last week of vacation. I go back to work on next Tuesday. So I got a lot of stuff done around the house. I was telling you a little bit off camera, I'm tinkering with the idea of going back to school. So I'm entertaining that. So yeah, dude, it's Memorial Day weekend. Got a couple things going on, a couple barbecues. It's supposed to rain all weekend, which kind of sucks, but we're gonna make the best of it, and that's about it. What about yourself, dude? How was your week?
Good. Straight week of work. We did have a thunderstorm about Tuesday that hit pretty hard coming out of Mexico, from the mountains of Mexico, actually. So it hit us pretty wild. Had a little bit of water damage, nothing too crazy. Other than that, just week work, train, get my students ready for upcoming matches if they have any. I have a friend of mine, Xavier Wilson, one of my boys from San Antonio, my boxing boys, Mr. Sun Wukong himself, the Monkey King. He's going to get ready to beat the shit out of someone this weekend. So shout out to X. Professor X is going to be out there, man. He's going to put it down on someone. It's going to be good.
The Monkey King?
The Monkey King. Check him out.
I like that. I like that name. I like that.
Sun Wukong, man. He's one of my boys.
Nice.
He's a good cat, man. He's a good cat, and he's going to be out there. He's getting back in the ring, and he's going to do good. He's a beautiful boxer. He's intelligent. Goes in there like a martial artist. Does some of the craziest training you can think about. What's up, Robert? Peace bin Cernin. What's up, man? What t-shirt does you guys wear now with full screen and standing? I don't know. I got this shirt from Walmart for like $6. This is a rad shirt. Yu Yu Hakusho, my dude.
I don't know.
You're a Meshi. I love that. But what's up? Well, guys, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got a interesting show for you. We got some really, really cool topics we're going to be talking about today. Of course, we got some Netflix shows that are going to be dropping that I'm really excited about. We have some information on a new Marvel film that just got done wrapping up, right? And introducing a whole new South American superhero, which I'm super excited to hear about. Really excited. And of course, we have Star Wars Celebration going on this past week. Really, really exciting stuff for us nerds. We're going to talk about Andor. We're going to be talking about, of course, we have Obi-Wan, the series that just dropped, episode 1 and 2. We will do non-spoilers, and then we will do spoilers. It'll be probably our last talking conversation for the day. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about, of course, Love and Thunder, Thor, Love and Thunder. They just dropped a really cool trailer and talk about that. But yeah, we're going to get right into this, man, because we got a lot of talking points, and I know we're going to talk a lot. Today's just one of those days, and it's been a really great nerdy week. So let's hit them with it. I'm telling you, I'm going to get way better with the soundboard. I really am. I even have the hello there. I even have that ready. The Obi-Wan, dude. I got it ready for when we transition. This past week we had some really cool stuff. Of course, they dropped the new season of Stranger Things 4, chapters 1 through 9. But Netflix has been doing some really, really cool stuff. A lot of series are getting dropped, but a lot of video game adaptations are getting picked up. And I just heard today, no announcement on the date yet, but one of my favorite franchises is getting a Netflix adaptation. We got Horizon Zero Dawn that's going to be getting a live action series. Now, if you have not played the game, live action Horizon Zero Dawn was a flagship game for the PlayStation 4, and its premise was about a girl named Alloy, Alloy, and what she is she's in like a how would you say the future of this world? It's like post-apocalyptic,
like a post-apocalyptic, but like further
but it's
down
like
the line.
tribal, techno-tribal.
Yeah, it's like after the apocalypse has already happened, and there's already like a rebirth of like people and shit like
But
that.
it's so weird because I mean, there's very little animals and stuff like that they can eat, but everything is like a robot.
Yeah,
all the animals are robots, but the gameplay is
phenomenal.
fantastic.
Yeah,
the whole premise of the game where you get to kind of like go and hunt these big behemoth robots, like, dude, it is so damn cool. They just released Forgotten West, which is
I still
Alloy,
haven't.
or
I still haven't played that one. I haven't played that one yet. No,
I still haven't played it either. I just haven't had the money to get it, so I've just been playing Fortnite because it's free.
I have been watching a lot of people stream it, and it does look a great time.
It's
like,
gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And yeah, I'm just excited to give it a try because of course I'm a huge fan of the first one. The replayability of that game is so wild because of the creatures you fight.
Yeah.
And then figuring out how to beat them in better ways is just so damn cool. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn is getting a live action, just like God of War, just like Halo did.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, of course, we have The Last of Us that'll be coming to HBO Max. With Gabriel Luna, I know Pedro Pascal. Not really sure who the female is that'll be playing the girl, but already with those two names, I'm already super excited to see the series.
Yeah.
And
were you a fan of the game? Like, are you a fan of
I think The Last of Us 1 and 2 as a game. I know that there was a lot of controversy around the second one, but I think that the game itself had a really interesting premise. And I was a fan of the multiplayer, where you get to kind of go like versus against each other, and you have to you have to like scavenge for parts and build stuff on the go. And then, man, dude, some of the multiplayer games are wild, man. But like just the idea of like the zombies and like the way the gameplay is, like I dug it. It was a very like I guess the easiest way to put it is it's a very cool third person game like Horizon Zero Dawn, but with Resident Evil, like a mixture of Resident Evil at that pace.
Okay,
Resident Evil was like a slow walking pace game, but you have like these characters that sprint, and then there's like fast cinematography shots where you have to like go and play at the same time while you're doing like I don't know, man. It's just a wild game. Fun though, hella fun. I know that there was a lot of backlash in the second game for the second character that they created. I don't know if you ever remember seeing that.
Say that one more time.
In the second game, Last of Us 2, there was a lot of backlash in the last game that they created because of the character, the trans character that they had.
I didn't see any backlash for that.
There was backlash. There was a lot of people that didn't care for the second character in the game, which is the one that
was it because it was strictly transgender in a video game?
No, I think it was because okay, so the way it was said, like through the Reddit and 4chan and all that stuff, is that originally the game was supposed to have a trans character, right? It was supposed to be a male who transitioned to female, but then at the very end, it felt like the director changed his mind and made the person a female, like just made her just a female, rather than sticking with the trans part, right?
Okay.
But there wasn't a lot in the story that could really make you think that it was either a male or a female. Like it was very like, it wasn't really about that part of their person's life. It was strictly about their personal story and surviving the situation. And then what happened later on was a lot of people started complaining about the person's size, and it got really like petty, where people were complaining about like, there's no way this person could be that muscular in the post-apocalypse, they would have to eat this many, and it got real like stupid. And it's
So
like, dude,
it wasn't necessarily having anything to do with anything particular when it comes to the transgender
just griping
character.
about it.
It's just in general.
Just
Yeah, I
griping
was
about
gonna say, and to be honest with you, either way, whether it was something specific or it wasn't, listen, you're not gonna, especially when it comes to like a video game, you're not gonna be able to make everyone fucking happy. So like it is what it is. I enjoyed the first one. I don't even think I even played the second one, to be honest with you. That's why I didn't hear anything about it. I played the first one.
You should check it because I would like to see if what
I
your
have it
reaction
though.
would
I
be.
actually, you know what the crazy part is that I actually have the game. I just
And you
haven't played it.
it.
Yeah, I literally my library is filled with games that I haven't even touched yet. I just don't have the time. And so like when I eventually get around to it, I'm pretty sure I'll.
But are you familiar with the series? Like, are you familiar with the second game, like the story wise?
I'm not familiar with the storyline, like the storyline of the second one.
Man,
No.
I wonder what you would do if you saw the part of the beginning.
No. But again, it's funny because I actually have the game. And I thought the first game was cool. It wasn't anything that was like game changing, you know what I'm saying? But I enjoyed it. I bought the second one, so
I think the second game was pretty good too. A lot of people, there was a good amount of the fan base, like I would say the real fan base, that were upset on how they handled the characters in the second game, like the main core characters from the first. But I'll let you get to that story one day. I won't ruin it for you because I'd rather let someone I know play it and then get their reaction from that gameplay.
okay.
That makes sense.
We'll do.
So like if there's ever a chance that you play that game, you let me know because
check back with you.
Yeah, because I do know the story of the second game, but I was never like I wasn't super imbued into the first game. I just played it for the multiplayer, really.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm super excited. Horizon Zero Dawn is going to get a live action series, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Onwards into the next discussion. So, Brian,
sir,
you're going to have to drop info on this one because you're the one that I know I always pick on you about it every time we talk about this one character that's going to be coming up. But apparently they dropped some really cool information. Apparently, what is it, like a picture, like an art picture dropped?
Yeah. So apparently, a picture of what Namor from Black Panther 2 is going to look like. And it was like very blurry. So where you couldn't exactly see what it looks like, but from the looks, you can make out some stuff, dude. And it looks like they're gonna lean heavily on the Aztec visuals and when it comes to Atlantis as well, they're gonna be drawing a lot from Mexican heritage. So that's very interesting. What do you think about what's been leaked out here for Mr. Namor, sir?
So I know we've talked about it before in the past, and I've had my kind of ins and outs about it, and I giggle about
reservations.
It a lot. Yeah, my reservations pretty much. But shout out to Robert Flores, our boy Big Rob. We have a group chat, and he's constantly giving us info and talking to us during the week, and we're just always shooting ideas, and he gets to hear us debate. And
yeah, he's literally like our Jarvis, and like he just like feeds us the information, and he just like sits there and watches like just go at it and shit.
Sometimes I feel like he's like our pin, and we're his pit bulls. And he just throws like food, and he's like, "All right, let's see what you guys do with all this one piece of chicken. Yeah. Like, let's see you guys go at it and shit." He's the one that sent us, of course, the blurry picture that made the internet go crazy. And then out of nowhere, our boy Rob comes in with the fucking AI work and fucking gives us like a more cleaned variation where you can see the dynamic features of the guy's face. You could see his clothes pretty well. You could see the boots with the little wings. Like, I was kind of sold on it. I was kind of like, oh shit, like that is very close to the color scheme and the costume design of the original character. He's wearing his little Speedos with the little gold on it. And I was like, at first, I didn't know what they were going to do. Because, of course, you have your Namor from the recent series that has like that black high collar kind of Atlantean look.
Yeah.
And you have the old green undies with the gold belt from the old school days. And they casually pulled that shit off pretty good from what it looks like. From what it looks like,
Now, again, this isn't what if you go online and look this up. This is not what the character will look like. This is just a
character design.
It's basically just like a prototype or like a concept, a concept of what they want it to look like. So it could look a little bit different once it comes on the big screen. But I mean, hey, listen, I'm excited, dude. Like as you know, and anyone that's been listening, I'm championing this character, and whatever they decide to do, story wise for him. So listen, I think he looks cool, even if it is blurred or not. So I think he looks cool, man.
I thought it looked pretty sharp. Of course, I was a little bit still in reserve on how they're trying to explain how, because of course, when we were talking about it originally and we were coming up with this idea and we were giggling at stuff, like it was like, oh, Mexicans and da da da. It's kind of more loosely based on the idea of the island of Tenochtitlan, which is a part of Mexican history and a Mexican culture. The Aztecs grew from that area. The place itself was, before it was ransacked by the Spanish, it had a bunch of levees and a bunch of things that kind of kept the lake from taking the island and letting it drop into the water or whatnot, because it's not part of the ocean.
Yeah,
it's just it's an island in the middle of a lake. That's the easiest way to put it. But the island was slowly kind of sinking into the water every year, but they figured out a way to kind of, stop it from sinking. The Spaniards, of course, came and raided through Mexico, fucking 1400s, 1300s, whatever. And, they did their damage and, they ruined a thing. But that's history. That's the way the fucking, the people were back in the day. That was their culture and their thing. But there's a lot of remarks that are coming out of certain, like, YouTubers and people that are, Easter egg hunters and stuff like that. But apparently this story of the people of Tenochtitlan is very connected to the Eternal story.
How so?
Because in the beginning of the movie, you have them fighting in a temple. And if I'm not mistaken, in the temple, when the wording comes out, it says Tenochtitlan. That the Eternals are fighting the people in Tenochtitlan, and then Druid takes a group of them farther into the Amazon. So that's where they find Druid later when he's with his people in the Amazon in the jungle. And apparently that is where they're going to come from, that they're Atlanteans, because those people of that area that were fighting, that had the technology from the Eternals, then they went down farther into the Amazons. And that's apparently where, like, this whole story of the Atlanteans and the Namor and all the people are going to be coming from. Well, let me ask you something, though.
Shoot.
Recently, it came out that they are changing all of this stuff of Namor for the film because they don't want it to be too close to what Aquaman is in DC.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, just on the whim.
I've purposely, because the first time that I heard that Namor was coming out, I don't know if you remember, but I repeatedly kept asking, what do you guys feel about the MCU purposely putting out similar projects before DC? Because I knew for a fact that this movie, this Black Panther movie, I think is coming out 1 month before Aquaman 2. So I think that it's more of a jab, is more of a dig to the DCEU. But hey, man, like it's the nature of the beast. Like I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Like I don't feel a certain way about them changing the character because of they're gonna have to. It's gonna be two movies with two guys from a place called Atlantis underneath the sea. They're going to have to change some stuff up. So I'm not concerned about that. I'm more curious as to how you feel about them even bringing this character in and then dropping the movie a month before Aquaman 2. You don't think that's like weird?
Well, okay. So the one thing that I'm kind of taken by is you have about this much history of the Submariner Namor, and you have about this much time of him being in the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And this amount of time has pushed Marvel to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should change some shit. And it's like, hey, what about all of this stuff? Like you had all of this time
But that's not why they're changing it, though. They're not
But
changing
the
it
story
because
has
of
always
its.
been the same.
No, they're not changing it because of that. They're changing it because Aquaman is coming a month later with a similar storyline, and they don't.
Well, the only thing that's similar between Namor and Aquaman from the
It doesn't.
films that they're talking about is they're still keeping that he is the son of a female Atlantean queen,
Their
and
stories,
they're
their
still
stories are
keeping that.
their stories are identical. I'm sorry. Like
The what?
the stories are identical.
Oh, they're
That's
split down the middle the same.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but they're exactly the same stories.
No, I
So
know.
it's not. I mean, it's the reason why they're changing it is because they have to, because Aquaman 1 is already out, and they have already established that story. You
Yeah,
cannot bring.
but Aquaman 2 is trash compared to what Marvel's going to do. And then the introduction is not going to be the same because what they had for Aquaman 1 is going to be him versus his brother, who he didn't know he had, his mother, who's in another galaxy of the ocean, and then a giant war in the sea. Where this one's going to be literally him versus another kingdom and them trying to find resolve in coming for the earth to know that they're at least there in some way or whatnot.
Okay, I mean, you asked. I guess the original question was why would they change it, right? That's what you asked.
Yeah, like why
And
even
that-
worry
and
about it
that's
now if they never
and
worried about it throughout the 20 something or
because
30 or 40
Aquaman,
years of history.
because Aquaman is coming a month later. It's that simple. Like there's no hidden agenda here. It's the fact that Aquaman 1 came out. They were the first ones to establish this kind of a character, so they have the lead there. And so now it's Marvel's turn, and they can't have it. You can't be confused between there shouldn't be a reason why you and I are having a conversation and I confuse Aquaman and Namor. They can't have that. So they're gonna have to change some stuff up. So yeah, we're gonna make them from an Aztec culture, and we're gonna switch up some things. That's the reason why they're doing it. If you're asking me that question, that would be my answer to you.
Okay. No. I get it. I just feel like it's one of those things that they've had a lot of time to change the history if they wanted to. If they truly wanted to be like, hey, you know what? There happens to be this other character that's really like this character that we have. We should change it up. And let's change his representation. Let's do all of this stuff, but let's do it now. Let's not wait until future reference because it's already the same.
I think
Why would we want these two characters to be the exact same?
Because for a comic book that makes sense. Who gives a fuck? You don't plan on making $1 billion off of Namor from a comic book. So you can literally copy and paste whatever characters in any comic book whatsoever. Comic books don't make that much money. But when you're talking about a movie that's piggybacking off of the first Black Panther movie that made $1 billion, you can't fuck this up.
Hey, Debbie.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
Debbie
fuck
says
this up.
competition, plain and simple.
Yeah.
I mean, but I really don't see, me personally, I don't see much competition between Marvel and DC. Like, first off, already, Aquaman 2, do you think it's going to be anything?
Wait, do I think it's going to do what?
Yeah, do you think it's going to be anything? Like, do you think it's going to be like a huge success or a blockbuster hit?
I don't know. I mean, I can only go off of. Well, let me ask you a question. What did you think that the first one was going to be a major block office hit?
I think it was going to be fun, but a lot of people are going to be confused.
No, the first Aquaman that came out.
I think, yeah, I thought it was going to be fun.
It made $1 billion. It's $1 billion movie.
That's why I said I knew it was going to be fun. I just think people were going to be confused.
The movie's
fun as fuck to watch.
Yeah, so
but it's so fucking like, why did I watch it? It's so weird. Everybody, like, there's a lot of people that they just watched it because it was a roller coaster ride. There was a lot of pretty colors.
Yeah, I think with this Amber Heard shit going on, I don't think it's gonna be as big as the first one, but do I think that it'll do some really good numbers? Yeah. So when you ask me, what do I think of it? I think it's gonna do well. I don't think it's going to do as well as the original or the first one, but I mean, people love Jason Momoa. Like, it's just a fact. Like, people love him.
So knowing that, do you think it's going to go better than Black Panther 2? Because this isn't Namor the movie.
No.
This is Black Panther 2.
Yeah, no, I know. So you're asking me, do I think
Yeah,
Aquaman is going to do better than?
because the reason why people are changing it is because the premise of Namor is very similar to Aquaman. But Namor the Submariner isn't getting a movie. This is literally going to be in the veins of Black Panther 2 the movie, which I think is going to be more of the subject to how people are going to take what they're going to do with the death of Chadwick Boseman.
You think they're doing? Wait, say that one more time.
I think the idea of Namor in Black Panther 2 is like a subject or a second par subject compared to the real subject, which is how they're going to carry the franchise on after the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
So you mean like they're using it to try to take
No,
away from
they're
the
not
fact?
using anything. They're all I'm saying is there's not that going to be that much attention on how they handle Namor. Like Namor is not how it's going to play out. Like people are going to watch him just to say like, oh, cool, like a dude that swims. Oh, I remember this because everyone talks about Namor and Google and how him and Black Panther have a lot of problems and all this other stuff. Like that's what people are going to mostly say.
Okay.
But I feel that the main subject about Black Panther 2 is we're all going to wait and see how they're going to handle the franchise and how they're going to handle the story of Black Panther after the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
I understand what you're saying. I just hope you're wrong, because that would be negligent. That would be negligent that you finally get your hands on a character that you are giving representation to a whole community to, and then you're just gonna not actually give a fuck about how you present this character because everyone's going to be thinking about Chadwick Boseman's death. I don't think that's the way you handle this. I personally feel as though you give this character, all characters in this movie, the proper respect that they deserve, whether it be Namor, whether it be Black Panther, whether it be Shuri or M'Baku, all of them. Like, I think that you have the opportunity to do this right. And again, this isn't just Namor isn't going to be just a throwaway character. This is going to be the representation of Mexican people. Like it's going to be something. It's going to be something that Mexican people can look at and say, "Hey, we have a superhero." Like
well, you have
in the MCU.
It's not necessarily just Mexicans; it's South Americans.
Okay, so then you have people from South America that says.
Itself.
So people from South America say, "Hey, we have somebody that looks like us up here." So
Yes.
yeah, I don't think doing that would be smart because number one, you're already behind the eight ball because people are kind of looking at you side-eyed by how you're going to go about this Chadwick Boseman thing. And then number two, if you just use this character as a throwaway character, now you're going to have everyone from South America on your ass. So it's going to be like, I would probably stay away from that. If you're going to bring this character into this movie, you're going to give them the proper representation. And I kind of see them trying to use this as more of an origin story for him as well. And to kind of counter what you're saying, I kind of see them using this as a deterrent from Chadwick Boseman. Because while you're over here, yes, it is a Black Panther movie. While you're over here worrying about Namor, what you're not thinking about is Chadwick Boseman's not in this movie. So this is a great character or a great way to kind of take your mind, take your mind off of it. So I know personally that when I'm going to watch this movie, there's not going to be too much time thought thinking that Chadwick Boseman is not in this movie.
Of course, no, it's not. I think it's more in the sense of how they honor him passing, how they honor him after the passing.
Right? Yeah. So I don't think they're in too much trouble there. I just hope you're wrong about that. I don't think this should be a throwaway character just because people were going.
See, and it's different because I think differently in this. I think that this character is not going to be. I think he's going to be casually introduced and brought in, but I do not think it's going to be a main staple in it as like a villain or something like that. I think they're going to casually wait for the Fantastic Four to really give him his time to shine.
Okay. But then
I think it's going to be a great introduction for having.
But then that's why this is so important because you only get you only get one introduction, right? So if you bring them in and then you shit the bed with them now, who's going to look forward to them in any future
And the next one.
projects? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, this is big. Like, you're not gonna wanna you're gonna want to treat this very carefully. Just from my perspective. Now they can go out and do whatever the fuck they want. It's Black Panther. This movie is probably gonna reach $1 billion.
I believe so.
There's nothing that anyone can say or do to stop this. Like, it's going to happen. So being that so many eyes are gonna be on this movie, I think they should be careful about how they introduce this character. Personally,
I believe so. I really, really think you're correct. Not only that, I mean, we are going to get the introduction of Riri Williams. So that's another character that they're going to be throwing out here, which is going to be a staple in the Marvel universe, coming up with the Young Avengers and all this other stuff. What's up, Vince? My boy Vince, he's been MIA online for like a week. Here he is, got to be in it. Who's going to be the next Black Panther in the MCU? I don't know, man. That's a really good question. And they've kind of kept it like, well, Black Panther themselves, Shuri is kind of talked about to be taking over, but not being a permanent substitute for the Black Panther role, right? Because someone else is going to come in. They will bring in another T'Challa sooner or later. I haven't really heard anybody on the up and runnings for the idea on who they want to bring in. Yeah, very close.
No, I know that.
What's up, Triggs?
I was reading. What's up, Triggs? I was reading a long time ago. That the actress that plays Shuri, I can't remember her name right now. But the actress that played Shuri, she's doing a solid for Ryan Coogler. He asked her if she could play Black Panther just for this one movie, and she said yeah. She said she will, but only for this one movie. She said,
okay, yeah, I knew it was
she's not gonna be Black Panther.
Something.
Letitia Wright.
Yeah,
so she's Letitia Wright said that she was going to play Black Panther just this one movie, and she won't be Black Panther moving forward. So I heard that. I heard there's going to be, speculation that there's going to be 2 Black Panthers, Shuri and M'Baku. So there's a lot. And also that Michael B. Jordan will be coming back in this movie as well. So it's going to be a lot of.
I mean, with the concept of the multiverse, there's not really a big, not so happening chance. I didn't think it was going to be such a big thing this far forward in the MCU, or this close to the beginning of the phase 4, that they were going to have all this multiversal stuff going on. So Michael B. Jordan may be a possibility. But do we really want him after the What If series? Man, dude, he's rough.
I don't think I heard that he's coming back as Black Panther. I think he's coming. No. I just think he's coming back into the movie. I guess
too, man. And I think that what you told me off camera earlier was like, Marvel's really bad on how they handle their villains, man.
Yeah.
Because man, they killed him off at the ending of the Black Panther 1, and
for the most,
a great fucking villain.
For the most part, most of the MCU villains are one and done. If they come back for more than one, that means that there's a bigger plot here, that there's something bigger at play, I should say, for the character. But for the most part, most of the MCU villains are one and done.
And for the last leak that I heard for a cameo of a character that'll be coming out in Black Panther 2 is the introduction of Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
That, to me, is wild, because that's almost like a really awkward variation of the actual Illuminati, because you got introduced to all the the regular, like Black Bolt, Charles Xavier, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, you already know, of course, from the series, and of course from Doctor Strange 2 you got introduced to the others, but the ones that were missing were Black Panther, right? Was Black Panther and Namor, which is going to be introduced in Black Panther 2. Namor will be introduced. But for them to introduce Dr. Doom would be a lot closer to us getting Reed Richards. But I think having Dr. Doom come out as another kingdom of Latveria, or whatever he's in charge of, I think it's Latveria. I think that would be interesting as fuck too, because Dr. Doom plays a really interesting role when it comes into the lifestyles of Namor and Black Panther in the comics. He's a heavy player in those series also.
Yep.
And then not only that, of course, with Doctor Strange 2, we got the drop of the code word incursion, which means we are going to be having Secret Wars coming up. And of course, Dr. Doom plays a huge role in the Battle World series and Secret Wars. So for him to be introduced this early in the MCU, right when the incursion starts, sounds pretty damn cool. How do you feel about if Doctor Doom was dropped in Black Panther 2?
There's a lot going on in that movie, so I can see it to be like a post-credit scene, but
Maybe,
let's
right?
again, it's gonna there's a lot going on in that movie.
There it is.
So
Yeah, you're
just
absolutely correct.
let's not bite off
Let's
more
not
than
throw
we
too much at it, right?
yeah, let's not bite off more than we can chew. So let's just make sure that everyone comes out of this movie with a job. You know what I'm saying? And let's not do too much. Like
That's funny.
little is more right now. So
Yo, I must ask. Triggs is in the comments somewhere. He's probably casually watching us. How is it going with the comics, man?
oh, specifically when you're talking about the Jonathan Hickman's new
Yeah.
Avengers and Avengers run leading into the Secret Wars, it's pretty cool. I just I find myself just questioning you comic book lovers, dude. Like, I have very low tolerance for stupidity and bitch assness, and the amount of stupidity and bitch assness shown by one Captain America is astounding to me. It's astounding.
when. I
It's
must know what part.
it's
what part of that is.
astounding. It's astounding to me. Now, I mean, I'm not sure if anybody in the chat or in the comments have brushed up on the Jonathan
runs out.
Hickman's the time runs out storyline. It's amazing to me how stupid Captain America is, which I guess is kind of explained. It's like, dude, he's not the smartest, he's not the brightest, like, he's a soldier. He's there to get shit done and to lead the charge and rally the troops. So that's his job. But when he gets like an idea or something,
There's Triggs, dude.
like when this guy gets like an idea, he gets fixated on it.
Yeah,
and
it's his objective.
and there's nothing that you can do to change his mind. So for instance, he goes to basically, as in his world, it's like the end of time. Basically, he reaches basically the end of time, and Iron Lad is there, and he's like, who is a variant of King, and he's like, yo, dude, you've been here multiple times, yo. You've been here multiple times, and multiple times we have sent you back to try to stop the incursions. Nothing has worked. You've always come right back here. We've had you try to stop Tony and the Illuminati. We've had you do nothing. We've had you travel. We tried it all. So the only thing we haven't tried is just you staying here. Just chill out. Just stay here with me, and we'll just hang out and see if the Illuminati can take down or stop the incursions. You know what this asshole does? He literally doesn't even wait until the guy is done talking. He smashes whatever capsule is holding the time stone, and then just reverts back to time to go rally the troops to stop the Illuminati. Like, dude, did you not just hear the fucking... He's basically your god at this point, telling you that doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work.
That's so hilarious, dude.
And and I'm sitting here listening to this shit, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, and you just, I don't understand it. I don't fucking get it. All he's gonna do, all he's gonna do is just get in the fucking way. Like, that's his
one-track
he's good at
mind.
that. That's it, and he's good at getting in the way. That's the reason why they wiped his memory in the first place. Dude, you were always getting in the fucking way. We are the ones that are gonna make the hard decisions. Like, we're the ones that are gonna get shit done. You, on the other hand, you're gonna bitch out. We can't have that because you're gonna cost our world, bro. Like, the fact
that's that whole like in the movies when he's always like, you got to be the guy to jump on the wire kind of thing.
Yeah,
he will literally risk everything for just the sacrifice.
That's fine.
Like it's
if
more
if it's just you,
more than the saving part.
That's fine though. If you are the one sacrificing, that's fine. But motherfucker, you're not gonna sacrifice my whole world.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to sacrifice yourself, that's fine. That's noble. Yeah. But I'm not gonna sit here and just let you sacrifice
everyone
for you. Like, no, that's not how this works, bro. So we're gonna wipe your memory.
He's not a thinker, and that's why Cap was never really a part of like the Reed Richards or the Tony Starks. That's why they always met independently without Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like, but it's very crazy because like in the comic books, like they stick to their roles very much, like all the time. Like Cap is always written that way.
It doesn't make in one thing, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry,
No,
but it one thing, and I gotta get this out because if I don't, I'm gonna forget it, and it irritates the fuck out of me. So in the same breath that I can say that about Cap, I can say the same thing about the Illuminati. These are the smartest motherfuckers on the planet. You guys should have known, yo, we can't
this
trust.
shit might happen.
Yeah, like we can't trust him. Like we know that if we came to him and said, hey, we can either destroy this planet and the billions of people on this planet to stop the incursions, or let's just figure
And what
out.
does he say? No, there's another way. There has to be another way.
There's another way.
Another way.
Meanwhile, the fucking guy at the end of time is telling you, and everyone that's showing up on
Are
Earth.
you talking about at the end of time? Are you?
I'm just. I don't know. It's not literally the end of time. It's just like 2,000 years in the future. So for this Captain America, that's basically like the end of time to him.
Yeah, because
You know
I was
what I'm
going to say,
saying?
like, there is a part in the story, and I want to say it might be that one. Is it where he takes off with the Avengers and like Hawkeye falls off and he like dies of
Yeah.
Okay, that's Franklin Richards, I think, in the end
No, Franklin Richards is the one before
on the
the
tree.
end. So Franklin Richards is the stop before Iron Lad.
Oh,
So
okay, good shit.
He stops at Franklin Richards first, and he's telling you, yo, you've been here before, but you're actually gonna go further into the future. He's telling you
you're gonna go way in the future.
you're gonna go way further into the future, but we're gonna talk about like don't worry, we'll see each other. You know who I am. I'm Franklin Richards, and then that's when the time stone comes up again, and then he gets shot even further into the future, and that's when he meets Iron Lad, and Iron Lad's like, yo, bro, we've done this multiple times, shit doesn't work, just chill out with us. And this fucking guy, bro.
Oh man, yeah, Cap's a wild. So how far are you along in the series now?
So I got to there, and then I just had too many. It started getting a little bit frustrating. So I'm like, damn, like I don't even know how the fuck I'm supposed to understand this. So I got there. They all get back. One by one, they're all falling off from whatever is holding them together. I was a little bit confused by that, but like
it's because that's in the timeline that they die.
Okay,
like that's in the specific 616 timeline that they die in the series.
Okay,
that's around the time that they either die of old age or they die of some accident. That's the timeline.
Gotcha.
They're all just falling at their own deaths.
So they're all falling,
they don't
and
make
I guess
it that far in history.
Okay, so they're all falling, and now once they're done falling, they all ended up right back at
the
Tony
original
Stark's
spot.
Tony Stark's lab. And then when Cap finally fucking gets there, he the first thing he wants to do is not like chill out, try to think about this and think about this, like trying to figure this out. No, he's gonna rally the troops to stop the Illuminati. Come on, bro.
We did this, dude.
Like we did this already, bro. Like we've been down this road. It doesn't work, but fuck it. And then
that comic book's actually really, really well written. Like it's a very psychological, like thriller, like comic book arc.
Yeah, it's good. No, I'm enjoying it. I just don't understand how stupid Cap is and how stupid the Illuminati is for even trusting this guy with this. I was a little bit confused as to oh no. So he goes on to explain about how Cap gets his memory back, and it has to do with some event that happened in another. Sin. Yeah, it was original sin. Yeah, it was from a different storyline completely. And so that's how he got his memory back, and he just goes to Tony's says, I remember, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
The original Sin series was someone kills Uatu.
That's what it was.
Yes. They steal his eyeball.
That's
when
right.
the Avengers
but then the eyeball becomes like its own thing, right?
There's a dude with it on his head. Like he puts
the
eyeball on his head.
Yeah.
So he pulls the eyeball out, and then when he aims it at the Avengers, like everybody gets to see like their original history.
Okay. Yeah.
So you get to see like it's a really great series where the Hulk literally goes after Tony Stark, like to kill him. Because he ends up realizing that Tony fucked with the gamma bomb the day before it went off, and then that's why it exploded and gave the Hulk his powers, or Bruce Banner his powers. So like it revolved around Tony Stark being there, and then later on you end up finding out that Tony did fuck with it, and he almost like the Hulk almost kills him. He just talks his way out. It's really, really good. And from that series also is where you get the Thor story where he becomes unworthy. because the character, I don't want to tell you because I want you to get to it first. One of the characters tells him that Gore was right. Gore the God Butcher was right, that he was always unworthy. The Asgardians are unworthy and they're not, and he just believes it.
Yeah.
The Gore the God Butcher story has so many echoes throughout the entire series of the Marvel Universe. It's nuts, dude. It's nuts. But going back to our original conversation, I'm really kind of excited to see Namor played out with the idea and the way that they designed this character and the look. I really like the way that they adapted the scheme. I really dig it. And not only that, what was really cool is like, I don't know if you got to see like the person that was apparently working on the set, that they got like clothes and stuff. They got like caps and sweaters and stuff. And the logo is kind of dedicated to the Aztec leopard god. So I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is going to be like they're really going to kind of forefront this culture, and the Wakandans are going to kind of find a way to kind of like adapt with them or something like that. Because from what I heard is that the Atlanteans are coming out to let people know that they are a society also, but they're looking to the Wakandan culture to be like, okay, you guys did it. So how are you successful? Because we want to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I'm getting at, but I don't think the culture of the Atlanteans is going to be as sophisticated as the Wakandans, because it looks like they're going to be getting a lot of like their mechanics and all that stuff from what the Eternals gave them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like Trig said, I'm going to give it a chance. I kind of dig it. I like the costume design. I want to see that whole like apocalypto Mel Gibson kind of vibe.
I can just like spit fire right now, dude. You have been fighting me.
Oh, dude,
I've been
sitting on this
for the last 2 months, 3 months. You have been fighting me on this, and I'm like, yo, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance.
You know what's fucking crazy is in that picture that they sent us, the blurred out picture, and I'll try to find a way to put it up on the chat later because I don't know how to do it for my phone. Rob, if you're listening, I know you're out there, my dude. Put that picture up in the chat right now. I want to see that. The clear one, not the fuzzy one. Yo, you can see this dude's mustache, dude. You can see he's rocking the fucking handlebar. I'm choosing it, man. That dude's gonna come in. He's gonna be the first dude with just a mustache. See, even Triggs like, bet, dude. The guy's got a handlebar. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I'm excited. I really am. The design of the character, I think it's pretty solid, and I can't wait for it. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm more Triggs. I'll tell you, I'm more invested more than I was 3 months ago, which is where I'm hoping that they want us to go that way in that direction. I'd be kind of disappointed if they didn't want us to get invested. So, fuck this stash. Shut up, Triggs. Quiet you in the background. All right, on to the next subject.
Let's go.
My boy, Brian.
Sir.
This is the week of weeks. We've had a lot of information, a lot of cool highlights, and a lot of great things that have come out of Star Wars Celebration.
Yes,
What
sir.
What have you seen?
Yes,
What's been exciting about Star Wars Celebration for you?
So there's a lot of things that that they went over. Nothing really to do with Star Wars and movies in Star Wars, but more of like I want to say like for instance, they have the new Cal Kestis game that is going to be coming out, which is
I saw that, dude, and it
fucking
looks
amazing.
Good.
They also had the Andor trailer release. So that's such a show that they had.
The Birth of the Rebellion.
Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It looks fucking. There's something about it that I'm kind of like, holy shit, this is dark. It's gritty.
Are you an Andor fan? I know that's like a lot of people will either hate or love this character.
Yeah, I'm gonna be about this shit.
Okay.
I kind of like the whole the look of the trailer. I think the trailer was great. What's the guy's name from Rebels? The guy that's in it, Diego Lunas. Yeah, Diego Luna or something.
Diego Luna. Yeah.
I liked his character in Rebels. I thought he did an amazing job. So to see him come back and get to reprise his role, I mean, we all know how it ends, but just to see the idea on what they're talking about, the birth of the rebellion, all that stuff, like I'm about it. I like it. I like what I see so far. And of course, I am one of those people that'll tell you I am always dying to see the Star Wars universe get expanded the right way. Like to be expanded because again, I always think that the planets they visit only have 40 people on it. The planets are so damn tiny in this universe. You can literally jump to the next one with an electric Tesla. So I'm excited for it. So what about you? How do you feel about Andor?
Listen, I am a Rogue One fan. I know that's again another divisive topic, but I'm a Rogue One fan. It was one of the bright spots, the most recent movies. And I'm a fan of Cassian Andor, so I'm looking forward to it. My only reservation, I should say, is that I gotta be sure about that because I don't know if you heard, but this first season of Andor is gonna be 12 episodes. And they've already it hasn't even come out yet. They're already greenlit for a part 2, which is also going to be another 12 fucking episodes. So I got to make sure I am in love with Andor because
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, like
that's a commitment.
I kind of get a little turned off. Like if they're too cocky that they go and they green light a second season without even dropping the first.
Yeah.
I kind of that would be like if Boba Fett dropped the second season or said they were already going to do that without us like even seeing the first. And I would be super disappointed. I wouldn't care about a second season.
I don't know if I would be. I don't think I would be disappointed. If anything, I would be a little bit more excited because they're not going to greenlit. They won't greenlight a second season if the first season, if they figure that the first season is going to suck ass. So
Yeah.
I guess they kind of have a finger on the pulse on that one. But listen, again, 12 episodes is a long fucking
The
season.
whole
So
last fucking 2 movies, man. That's a whole
yeah,
trilogy of movies, man.
that's a long season. So we'll see how it starts off, but I do like the trailer. Again, I am a Rogue One fan, so yes, I am looking forward to it. That was also what there was the what was it? The Willow
The
trailer.
Willow
The
trailer.
Willow trailer came out, right? Like,
Yeah, that
did
looked
you?
good.
I haven't. You know what? I remember seeing the original Willow. That was with like Val Kilmer. Was that Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer, yeah, dude.
That was Val Kilmer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, and I swear I didn't look that up. That was just
Yeah, straight off the top of your head. I saw that. I saw that.
straight off the top of my head.
We didn't even
So
talk
yeah,
about it before the show, so I know you're not messing around.
yeah, no, absolutely not. So yeah, so I saw that and I got a kick out of it because I remember watching the first movie when I was super fucking young,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
I
say, like, I
haven't.
barely remember the movie.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
I don't remember
I
watching
just
it
remember the
as an
actor, the
adult.
Willow actor guy, and I was kind of like, hey, you know what? Like, he doesn't look that bad for being his age coming out in the next movie. Like, that's
Yeah,
pretty damn cool.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I know that, like, body wise, people that have his condition, as you get older, it starts to become harder to move around and do things. And
yeah,
he's been pretty fucking spry in these last couple of years doing these great movies. Harry Potter, Star Wars all over again, just being in everything. Like he's
yep.
been in every major film you can think of. I think even Lord of the Rings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember he was in Lord of the Rings, but
I
I
wouldn't
know
doubt it.
anything that has to do with little people, he's basically in. Indiana Jones got his first image revealed, which I don't know how I feel about that because I think
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say, how
done.
do you feel about
I'm
Harrison
done.
Ford?
I'm done with Indiana Jones, dude. Like, give it up. Like, it's over.
Read on the
You had a good
comments that
run.
are out there.
You had a
How
good
do you
run.
feel about Indiana Jones 5 with Harrison Ford coming back as Indy? Like, how do you feel about this? I mean, every time I see Harrison Ford, like there's a part of me that feels bad because he just doesn't look like he ever wants to be there. Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
if you put him in Star Wars, like he always looks like he does not want to be there. You put him in in any kind of movie, he's just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to fucking make movies. I don't want to be bothered. Or like he just doesn't care to be there. So like to see that he was approached by Steven Spielberg for a number 5 of Indiana Jones. They've already found the crystal skulls. I mean, what the fuck is left to find? I mean, I don't know anything in the idea of conspiracy theories that's out there left. Have you found the fucking crystal skulls? I don't know. I'm not sold on it. Kind of disappointed.
neither am I. There is also talks of a new show that's starring Jude Law called Skeleton Crew.
For Star Wars.
For Star Wars. Yep, it's supposedly in production and it'll come out in 2023. It says Skeleton Crew will follow a group of 10-year-old kids from a small planet who get lost in that galaxy far, far away and must try to find their way home. The story will take place after Return of the Jedi and will fit within the timeline of the Mandalorian and Ahsoka. So that seems pretty cool. And last
Kind
but
of
not
like
least,
Goonies in space.
exactly something like that.
Nice, dude.
Exactly.
I'm about it.
And last but not least, something that we weren't privy to, or at least I don't think we were privy to, but the Mandalorian season 3 did have a sizzle reel that was shown behind closed doors to guest reporters or people that were there, and it got some good reviews,
Oh yeah,
saying that a lot of the focus of this season is going to be the dynamic between Mando and Bo-Katan, which I think is pretty cool.
good shit.
So yeah.
I'm about that. I mean, they really raised the bar in the last Mandalorian series. They really great. They gave a great story arc for the idea of the Bo-Katan character after bringing her back from the animated series, and
Mhm.
then having it to where the black saber comes back, but it's legally in the hands of Mando, and we all know how conniving Bo-Katan is when it comes to wanting to be the fucking empress or emperor of the fucking Mandos. So I think that's going to be a really good. And then the actress they chose for Bo-Katan's amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. That sounds like a great. Man, that Mando 3 sounds great. Mando
Yeah,
3
and
sounds fantastic.
it's going to be the first, right? No, Ahsoka. I don't know which one comes first, either Ahsoka or Mando, but whichever one comes first, that'll be the first time that we get to see the iconic
I
duo
bet you
of
Ahsoka. I
Filoni
would feel
and
Ahsoka would probably be the next one before Mando.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
then Ahsoka will be the first show where we do get the dynamic duo of Filoni and Favreau back together where they rightfully belong, and so we can get some good content,
some good
for
content, some
from
good
from
Star
Star
Wars
Wars.
content.
Yeah.
We just got asked a very interesting question, which
What's that?
almost kind of goes into what we were talking about last week, the idea of the Velma series. Um, how do you feel? Vince asks, what do you think about Weenie the Pooh, Blood and Honey the movie? Do you have an idea of what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think Rob posted it in the chat, and then I think I saw it on Facebook or something. I didn't even give it. I don't. It's
So they're taking the origin story of Weenie the Pooh and making Weenie the Pooh a serial killer.
but this is like live action. It's not even cartoon. It's
Live
live
action, yeah.
action. So okay, all right.
Dude, how do you feel about this? We just
I
talked about
don't. I
Velma.
don't. I think it looks stupid. I don't think it looks stupid for the fact that they're taking liberties with Winnie the Pooh. I don't give a fuck about that.
You
If
just think
you
it looks stupid.
It just looks stupid. Yeah, it just looks dumb. It looks dumb. It looks like a guy that's
With a
playing a
pig mask or
serial.
something.
Yeah, it looks like a guy playing a serial killer, or who is a serial killer wearing a Winnie the Pooh mask, going around fucking people up. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know. I don't feel it very awe-inspiring in the artistic value sense when I saw the
Now,
pictures.
if you ask me if I give a fuck whether or not kids are gonna see this, or do I feel a certain way because this is a kid's character, no, I just don't give. I'm not gonna give it a shot because it looks stupid. That's it. And that's basically what it boils down to with me. If it looks good, if it's written good, I'll give it a shot. If it looks like shit, I'm not even gonna waste my time. No. It
Yeah, this one does look pretty bad.
looks bad. It looks bad. It
Yeah,
looks
I just think
extremely
it's
bad.
very I don't know, it's just very cheesy.
Yeah.
I think if they would have kept it animated, would it have been better?
Yeah, I would have given it a shot. I would have at least looked at. I haven't even seen whatever trailer is going around.
Yeah, I haven't
refuse
even seen
to
the trailer
I
either.
refuse to click on any type of review on it or whatever. I just don't even want anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
it just looked kind of bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Winnie the Pooh, blood and honey. Come get some or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
Blood and
Blood and
honey.
honey, dude.
That's funny though. That's funny though.
Hey, so before we go on, Star Wars Celebration, I think to me, the most coolest thing was, of course, seeing Hayden Christensen come back. Seeing him
Mhm.
there. The man does look withered and aged, but of course, it's been 20 years since the last film that he was in. He did give a really, really cool speech talking about his character and the fan base and all that good stuff. But he did mention also that he is excited to hopefully get a Darth Vader series. How do you feel with the idea of them talking about a Darth Vader series? And what do you think? What time should they cover?
What I mean, as long as they explain to me what time frame we're talking about and it makes sense, because we're running out of time here. We're running out of time where we can have a Darth Vader. Like what haven't we've covered it. We've covered it from episode 1 all the way to the end. What part are we missing? What part
I think the interesting part would be like during the comic series.
The only parts that we're missing, we're going through right now with Obi-Wan.
With Obi-Wan. Yeah, but it's not going to really focus on Darth Vader's lifestyle or Darth Vader's quests that he took during this time.
So what's it going to focus on?
It's going to be more, I mean, it's going to be more focused on what Obi-Wan was doing. I mean, it's not going to talk about how he makes his fortress on Mustafar. How he
I'm talking about you're asking me you're asking me if I'm excited for a Darth Vader show.
Yeah. And
I'm saying,
what do you think they should cover?
And I'm saying like there's no parts to cover. Like there's nothing that hasn't been covered already. And the only part that wasn't covered, that 10-year gap right after episode 3, we're covering it now. So I don't know. You're running out of real estate as
like
far
linking,
as Darth Vader.
Like, are you talking about like the linking between each story? Like the gap of time in between them?
Well, yeah. Like in whatever wasn't shown, it's been implied. So I'm what is like, does he become a farmer in between a movie or some shit like that? And we're gonna go, like does he become Thanos and just farming and shit like that? Or like I'm
there's
confused.
There is the quest series that happens after he becomes Vader, which I'm guessing this film is gonna be like the Obi-Wan series will be like right on the cusp of him, like right on the footsteps of it. There's a part of the series after he becomes Darth Vader where he tracks down all of the Jedi that weren't scared of Order 66.
Okay.
Because there were like several, even old masters that were like, there was one Jedi that almost beat the shit out of him. Like,
but isn't that so? Wait, isn't that the Rebels? That's the whole premise of the Rebels, though. Oh no, right? No. All right, no, I'm bugging.
No, there is a series, and it's based in the comic books. So that's where the comic book kind of like feeds the backstory.
No one fucking read that shit, bro.
Yeah, of course. And that's why I'm saying like maybe that would be an interesting take to do the live action, because that's where you get like the only thing I'm surrounded by is by fear, which is probably one of the greatest fucking Darth Vader fucking panels or anything Darth Vader's ever done in his entire career. You know what I'm talking about? You got to know what I'm talking about.
I don't, but I can guarantee
there's a part in the comic book where
it's not the fucking coolest thing that Darth Vader's ever fucking done.
There's a part in the comic book where the rebel army, there's a faction of the rebel army that surrounds him. And he's like, Darth Vader, you need to give up because you're surrounded. And he raises his hand and goes, the only thing I'm surrounded by is by fear. And then he just murders like 500 fucking dudes like out of nowhere. Like it's wild.
Sounds cool.
The comic book goes into detail about Vader. There's a lot. They go into the history. A lot of people read it. LOL. Sal, what's up, my dude? Long time, my dude. Long time. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fan base.
All right, so then that's fine. So then let's take Sal for what he's saying as true. Number one, a lot of people did not read the comic books. That's not true. But let's say that is true. Like, if that is true and a lot of people did read it, then we have it. We have the information as to what Vader was doing.
Yeah, I mean, what's up?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, what part are we missing?
There.
Yeah, what part are we missing?
Already there. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would be cool to see it in live action, or at least some parts, but
it's already been done. That's what I'm saying. Like, there hasn't been anything that has happened to Darth Vader that's not out there already. But I'd still look for it. I still watch it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving pushback. I'm just giving pushback for argument's sake, but I'd still watch the fuck out of that show.
What about anything else? Anything else about Star Wars Celebration that caught your eye?
There was talks. It's not confirmed. But Ian McDermott some during Star Wars Celebration, Ian McDermott himself So yeah, so Ian McDermott is trying to see whether or not people will be interested in having a Palpatine origin story.
Ooh.
Finding out where Palpatine's from and all that stuff. So
Interesting.
yeah. A prequel, basically a Palpatine prequel. And there's talks that Tom Hiddleston may be involved.
Shit, that's a good question, man. Would that be something? I mean, to see the idea of the Darth Plagueis story, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, I would be a little bit more interested in, since it's talked about very much in the prequels. But the Emperor story, like, I kind of feel like they gave it too much hype in the last films. Like, just the story of Palpatine himself got tremendous amount of hype in the last one. Oh, you're my daughter, and oh, I'm a clone, and I have a bunch of variations of myself. That's like, dude, fuck off, bro. Like, you had a good end in the movies in the 70s, dude. Like, you had a good death. Like, leave it at that. Like, have a fucking AI that's corrupt. Do that. Like, or your essence goes into a fucking McDonald's double cheeseburger, and then that wants to take over the world. Fuck, dude, a cup of Starbucks.
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying, but watching that transition from him being a senator into him being Palpatine, that was amazing. Like, and that happened in the prequel, so that was pretty dope. Like,
that's not a lie. That was because you knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't honestly.
I had never seen
but most people didn't know that. Most people didn't know that the senator since episode 1 ended up being Palpatine. That was a holy shit moment, Chris. No one knew that.
I mean, I did.
A lot of people didn't know.
I mean, that. Yeah. No, I understand. I totally understand.
A lot of people did not know that. So, but,
yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'd feel about them wanting to do a prequel about that character all over again. I do like the character. I just never felt like I didn't feel like he needed an origin story. I kind of feel like the prequels were already a pretty good origin story if you think about it.
No, it was.
Because you knew he was already this like grimy senator dude.
Yeah, like, and you know what? Now that I think about it, I do remember like in the prequels, and even in we'll get to Obi-Wan in a little bit, but yeah, when they were doing like the whole montage in the beginning of the first episode, and they go into like Anakin and Palpatine having that conversation before Palpatine turned full blood like asshole.
Yeah, he goes all crazy.
Yeah, right. And he's basically saying like, I want to know how he was exposed to the dark side. Like, I would like to see that story. I want to see how he was exposed, the person he was before, because like, dude, like I want to know the person he was before he turned to the dark side, and then because we get to see how evil he does become.
Do you want to know what I would like to see? And it sounds really crazy, like who and where they got the metachlorians for Anakin, and how they got into that program.
Okay,
because he was trying to make like the ultimate Force user, and he got a set of DNA and impregnated the mom with him. And then that's how they made. He was like a Jesus child.
Yeah.
So, but they never explained who the father of this character was. So it's like, where did that transpire from?
True.
Like, where did that program from? Was it like Emperor Palpatine gets General Plagueis's DNA, or he taught him how to mess with the metachlorians to create characters? From what I always thought was that he was introduced to the dark side because of the same origin story as Anakin, where he had a love interest and she was sick, and this guy wanted to teach him how to save her, but instead he ended up prolonging his own personal life. And that's why the Emperor was able to live for so long. So he learned how to use that specific power from Darth Plagueis. And that was like the whole thing. Because that was the whole thing, is like Darth Plagueis was apparently like this dude that could like work with people who were dying, or like prolong life forces and stuff like that. That's what I always assumed, just going off of that nature. But yeah, I would like to see where they got the idea and the program for the Anakin or the Skywalker project or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, that's in the talks. They're saying don't get your hopes up, but it's still on the table. And it's a very interesting idea to bring up. So, but other than that, that seems to wrap up Star Wars Celebration Day. So
Pretty cool though. Pretty cool. What a week for Star Wars fans. It's been super amazing. Of course, we have our Obi-Wan talks we're going to be talking about in a bit. But before we get to that, I want to drop just some other stuff really quick that we could talk about before we get there. Quick little conversation. Have you had the opportunity to check out Stranger Things 4 yet?
I have not had a chance to check out Stranger Things 1.
Anybody in the comments, had you had the opportunity to check out any of the chapters for new season 4 of Stranger Things? So far, I think it's utterly fucking amazing. I am on episode 3, which is called chapter 3. I'm not going to talk any spoilers. The show is fantastic. You can tell 100% that yes, Netflix went balls out with how much money they spent on this show, but it is well fucking worth it. Fucking worth it.
Did you hear that Netflix fired their whole like ethnic department? I don't want to say ethnic department. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
but like
their
their culture. No, it's like their cultural direction department.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's basically a bunch of people that were hired to make sure that certain groups are were represented correctly.
Why were they fired? Like, were they?
Because they're spending so much money on Stranger Things. That's why there's no more money. There's no money. There's the first thing that happens when you come back after Q1 saying that you're down subscribers. The first thing is going to happen is just cutbacks.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, cutbacks. So they got to cut at the different groups or whatever comes. So
they got
it.
Yeah, they overspent, dude. So I hope you like your Stranger Things, dude, because the next thing you're gonna get is from a fucking Nazi propaganda shit. I'm joking.
Oh, gotcha. It's a bunch of fucking Nazi fucking TV shows and shit.
Yeah.
Whoa, that would be nuts.
So I hope you enjoy your fucking Stranger Things episode 4. But no, I haven't got a chance. I haven't got a chance to check it out. But I did say off camera that I know that it just came out yesterday, right? It came out yesterday.
Yeah, it just came out. Like even I think like last night, like at 2 a.m. it came out.
So as opposed to going into full-blown spoilers and let's give people a chance to watch it, I will binge, and this is my pledge to the comments and the chats.
Pledge.
I'm going to binge all episodes or all seasons 1 through 4 next Friday. Mark it. We will talk about spoilers about season 4. So yes, I will be ready.
A couple of weeks ago, it wasn't too long ago, that we had the cinematographer Rick Diaz he got to do the episode 9 for this season. So he told us that the show was like they went balls out for this show, and I'm telling you, like, vouching that it does not disappoint. Like from the very first episode, like it's on. Now, are you pretty much caught up on the rest of the seasons 1 through 3
of Stranger Things?
Yeah.
No, I just literally said I have not watched anything. So I'm going to binge. I'm going to binge seasons 1 through 4 by next Friday. We can do like those spoilers or whatever. And
holy fuck, Brian. I need the daily checkups, dude, like you did for Attack on Titan with me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I need it because I don't know if you've heard or know the hype around the Stranger Things series in general, but it's by far one of the coolest TV shows I've seen in a very long fucking time.
I remember it had a lot of hype in like the first season, and then going into the second season, there was a lot of hype, but it's been dying down. Like there hasn't been that much hype around it over. So I think the height of me anticipating watching it was like the first season, and then I just kind of like, I don't know where I was in life or my headspace. I probably just didn't get around to it, and then I just fizzled out.
And then it just fell off.
Yeah, and see, like that's the thing. It's like, dude, if you don't get on it like immediately, there's gonna be something else that comes along that gonna take your attention. It's gonna be dude. So it's like, and before you know it, you're 4 seasons behind, and now someone's asking, "Yo, have you watched?" And I'm like, dude, I haven't even watched the first one, dude.
That's literally me in anime, right? Because I mean, me in anime. I talk about it like all the fucking time. I vouch on some of the stupidest ones. And there's been a numerous amount of people that are like, dude, you need to watch One Piece. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, there's like 1,000 episodes. You're fucking stupid. Like,
Yeah.
not.
And
But
like,
then
damn,
again,
like,
dude, no. But then again, I just saw like a preview to the latest episodes,
mhm.
and I'm just like, motherfucker, that looks good.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it looks good. Like, when does that start? Like, don't send me all the way back to the fucking 70s, dude.
Yeah.
To where like it was like one punch drawings and shit in the webtoons. Like, don't
That's
send me
like
that far.
that's kind of like me trying to get someone to watch an episode of Dragon Ball at this point.
Dragon
It's
Ball,
like,
yeah.
dude, they were like, somebody will say to me, like, dude, I remember watching that when I was in like middle school, high school. Like, it's been going on since then. I have no idea where they are right now. So it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna give it up. But
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I might hit you up a little bit tomorrow
okay,
because cool news. Michael Betancourt, who's usually
in the chat, yeah,
here, he's not here right now, as you can tell. He is going to have. I'm going to see if I can get up his. I can find his Facebook real quick. They are going to have Mario Castañeda, who is
okay,
the voice actor for Goku and Bardock in
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
He's going to be here tomorrow, and I might go hang out with him for a bit.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
I'm gonna tell him to give you a shout out, dude.
That's fucking great. Yeah, and that's great.
So he's gonna be in the Flux and the Grid. The Grid's gonna be in Rio Grande, and the Flux will be in McAllen. Saturday, May 28th is gonna be the Grid, which is an arcade in Rio Grande City, which is a little town that's like about 40 minutes that way.
Mhm.
And then McAllen, of course, you were pretty close to McAllen when you were down
Yeah.
here. With the,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gonna be Sunday. So I'm gonna go see if I can go check him out and hang out with him tomorrow. He's the voice of Goku and Bardock in the Spanish series. So cool shit. He's also doing Super Instinct or Ultra Instinct.
I'd fucking
You
ask him.
jizz.
So yeah, I would ask him so many fucking questions, dude. Like,
What would you ask him? What would you ask him?
like I would ask him, like, just over the course of the years, is he amazed by how it's still popular and how it still has it still has it still pulls people in. Like me, I would not have thought that I would still be watching Dragon Ball right now, but it
Yeah,
just
that's
keeps
a really good
evolving. It keeps evolving and it keeps getting fucking better. Like if I told you the premise of this one guy or this one alien guy, and he just keeps getting more powerful, more powerful, more powerful, more powerful. He basically gets as powerful as he needs to defeat whatever
Is in front of him.
character, yeah, whatever's in front of him. I'd be like, that sounds stupid, but the way that they
That
do
would be
it,
after the Cell Saga.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then not only that, but they bring in different like animators and different crews for different storylines, and it's so fucking dope, bro. It's so dope.
I was trying one of my students because he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I used to watch that after school," and he was fighting Frieza and all these other guys, and I was like, "Dude, have you not seen it recently?" And he's like, "I mean, not really, dude. This I didn't even know it's still going on."
Yeah,
And he was like, "Yeah, I always thought it was funny. It's like when everybody's screaming, like no one ever. He's one of my fighters. He's like, no one ever attacks him, and they just scream. He's like, I never understood it. I just thought it was cool. And I was like, bro, they fixed that. And
yeah.
he's like, what do you mean they fixed that? And I'm like, watch. And I showed him the fucking flip when he's fighting
Oh,
Kalista.
when he does the
Kalista,
yeah.
Kalista, and he fucking jumps right over his shit. And he was like, fuck, dude, that is super cool. Like, and I was like, yeah, like that was literally one of the biggest gripes for people talking about that anime for so long. Like, why did they let him scream and no one ever hit him? And this like, bet this guy's like, bet I got it. And that was truly amazing, truly amazing. It was like reinvigorated my whole entire love for that series.
Yeah, dude.
Almost
So I would
almost had a heart attack, dude.
Yeah, dude. I would definitely ask him a few questions as to like where does he did he think that it would still be as popular as it is? Because I didn't personally, and I'm a fan, a huge fan. So
Still a fan, still a huge fan.
Yeah.
Onwards to the next part of the conversation. Stranger Things Love and 4, highly recommended. I'm into episode 3, and I'm going to binge the rest of the episodes tonight. I'm super excited for what's to come. I'm really excited to see Nick Diaz's episode 9. But yeah, it is fantastic. You can see where the money went. I love the embrace of horror that the show has gone into, and the embedding of music in this series. Like this specific season, they've embedded music as a a tone of the film or a tool of the film. And it's interesting. It's better than Doctor Strange too, I'll tell you that much. The way that they use music to just be like flipping notes at people and Chinese star in it and shit. Yeah, pretty cool. Onwards to the next one. Now we have to talk because it was an important conversation that we had for the longest time. I think Rob was scared in the comments. Trigger didn't even want to jump in it at all, but
what conversation?
we finally got our straight, legitimate, longer trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. We got a reveal of the man, the myth, the legend, Gore the God Butcher himself.
Yeah, it's that time, huh?
But Brian, I must ask, what did you think of this trailer, and what did you think of all the extra goodness that we got from it?
The trailer was okay. Of course, the elephant in the room was, were we gonna get, or the question was, were we gonna get a Gore sighting, which we did. Finally, we did get our Christian Bale Gore sighting. And I liked it. I saw a lot of positive reactions to people online about it. So I came to the chat and I wanted to know. And immediately before I even got a chance, I just saw you going at it. You doing your thing, your crispy thing, and I was confused because just 1 week before, you were willing to overlook some CGI / VFX issues with She-Hulk, but yet when it came to Gore the God Butcher, you gave them no slack. And I need to understand, now that I'm looking at you, I need to understand the thought process in that, because I need you to understand that is just a pure contradiction. If one is okay, then they both should be okay. If one's not okay, then they both should not be okay. I'm confused. Would you like to explain, sir?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory in the sense of the TV show took the chance and tried to go as well as comic accurate as it possibly could try.
Okay.
As well as it possibly as it could try with whatever finance that it has.
Okay.
Where Thor: Love and Thunder literally took the idea of Gore the God Butcher and gave us its own artistic rendering of what they thought it should look like, without even kind of like coinciding with even anything close to what the comic book looked like. Like, yeah, they got the sword right, I guess. They didn't even get the color of his robe right, dude.
I would think you would have more of a problem with the sword than the way he looks. Okay.
I mean, I wasn't really like.
Listen, I mean, it's obvious that Gore the God Butcher has different looks. Yes, just in this trailer alone,
for whatever it is.
In this trailer alone, he has different looks. I am on the side of saying that he is going to have different looks. He's going to have transformations. He's going to have different forms throughout this movie. Mm-hmm. She-Hulk, there's no more transformations, bro. That's it.
I don't know, because yesterday I saw that the CG team did respond, and they said they're going to
because they had to.
Yeah, because they had to. Better. I mean, because they listened to what the people said.
Yeah, no, they definitely had to, because that was horrendous. And I understand what you're saying when it comes to, hey, it's a show versus a movie. I get that. And I'm kind of on board with you about that. But the only problem with me with that statement is I get it, but not at the expense when it's the main character in the show. Like, that's literally your own. If the main character, if your main character in the show is CGI completely based, then you have to nail that. There's no getting around that. You can't short corner any of that. You can't.
And we were talking about this too, where we were saying, like, okay, we get it. There is a possibility this could be early renditions of the character, but you can't put that out.
Yeah, no,
that it's gonna look that bad.
No. If this is going to be
finished it out a little bit more, tightened it up.
Exactly. Flush it out.
I get that.
Flush it out. Let some have some testings, have some people view it, tell them, hey, it looks like shit, clean it up, and then clean it up. Take as much time as you fucking want, because again, no one's asking for this show. No one is clamoring for a She-Hulk show. No one
not
was
at
like,
all.
where the fuck was my She-Hulk show at? No one said that. You're trying
Yeah,
to
no.
cash in on the fact, you're trying to cash in on the height of the Hulk. You can't use him in a standalone show or a standalone movie. So you're gonna get the next best thing. I get it. Just make sure that she looks better than what she looks, and I'm on board. I'm gonna be on board anyway. Like,
Yeah, we're gonna watch it.
you gotta figure, you
Yeah,
gotta
we're gonna-
figure, you gotta
everyone's gonna
figure.
fucking
It's
watch
an
it.
it's an MCU show, which means I'm automatically glued. I'm gonna
And
watch
it's
it.
100% about Smash, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
It's-
violence, dude.
Yeah.
It's about this, it's action. I'm literally hoping, like, if this show comes out
Mhm.
and it's Moon Knight 1 through 4, I'm gonna be so fucking heartbroken. If it's like disposition 80% and then a couple of Smash here and there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, dude, this was an easy fucking score. All you had to do was give this chick powers, have her hook up with some dudes or whatever she's doing, and have her run through walls and break some fucking metal shit and punch some things, and I'll be set.
Good to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Like, if they make it something weirder, I'm just gonna be super disappointed with this one.
I just couldn't understand for the life of me how that was going to be okay when the main character in one TV show doesn't look so good, but then I guess a villain that's not the main character in this movie over here, you were kind of, now I get it. You are a super fan of the Mighty
Series,
Thor.
the character.
I get
everything.
it. I get it. I get it. I understand that.
Okay, let me ask you something.
But he
because
looks fucking dope, bro. It's fine. It's fine for it to not be comic book accurate, but he still looks fucking dope.
Okay,
though,
I'm
bro.
not gonna lie. There are two scenes, which is the first scene when he walks into that room and it's just
That's
the
fucking
skeleton. You showed me that
yes.
picture,
Yes.
and I was like, of course, that looks great. And then the last scene, which I'm really,
I
hoping
think that's
is-
CGI. Yeah, no, that one. That last scene I think is digitally altered. I don't think he looks like that in that last scene.
But you know what? I will vouch and I will tell people, like, when he's pointing at Thor,
Yeah.
that is the closest that I've seen Christian Bale
Mm-hmm.
look to Gore the God Butcher, like, without anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Because the other shit, he looked like the nun from that weird horror movie, or he looked like Uncle Fester,
Mm-hmm.
or he looked like he was taking like trying to lift something super heavy for no reason.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's trying to pick up the hammer and his veins are all coming out of it. Like, just I don't know, man. There was something about it I just wasn't sold on. And the thing is we talked about this weeks before. Well, actually, we talked about this last week. Marvel, they wouldn't even release a number on how much they spent on the image of Stan Lee. We talked about, you said this yourself, the CG thing and the money for the TV show cannot be an excuse because it is Disney.
Absolutely.
So there is no excuse to say that Christian Bale will not be given the money to look like Gore the God Butcher if they wanted it. They purposely were like, oh no, we're cool. You don't need to do that, dude. Like, we'll give you whatever you want. Just be in the movie or whatever. But again,
I think that's the bailout that a person like me, I'm always gonna have that bailout. Like, I'm always gonna have that bailout when it comes to an A-list actor being casted in any one of these MCU movies, and they're gonna have the space in their contract to be like, yo, I'm not gonna be covered in prosthetics all day, every day. I'm not gonna do it. So do you want me to do it or not? And it's Christian Bale, dude. What are you gonna turn him down?
Yeah, you can go with somebody else. There's so many other actors that are at the
I
same
get
level.
it. But it's not just about the acting. It's about the selling.
I think it's just lazy, man. I
no,
think it's lazy from the director. It's a lazy
not.
choice from the director.
I don't think that's it. I think there's multiple things at play here. It's not that black and white. You can't turn away Christian Bale. First off, it's probably out of the director's hands or whoever the executive is there. That's more like a Kevin Feige thing. If Kevin Feige wants him, he's gonna be in the fucking movie. So now you're giving Christian Bale. You're stuck with them. You got to work with them, and he's telling you he's not wearing all the goddamn prosthetics. All right, so then let's just make him look scary and frightening and have black blood and he looks fucking dope, bro. He looks fucking dope. And like, what are you gonna? And then not only that, but then you got to worry about marketing the fucking movie because like not everyone's aware of the storyline of Jane Foster. So now you got to market it. Now you have Christian Bale to help you market it. Like, there's too much at play to be like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of Christian Bale and get some unknown actor. No, you got to sell this fucking movie. So then you gotta have the Christian Bales and shit like that. So it's kind of like a give and take type of thing. So it's like,
okay, so
you know,
the one thing I wanted to ask you, and I have to ask this, is you're pretty much stuck on the idea that there's going to be some type of transformation.
I believe so.
To what extreme do you think the transformation will happen? Like,
So
how much of a transformation?
So
like,
I
are
think
we talking like Frieza to Metal Frieza?
so. I think
Golden
I
Frieza?
honestly think that if listen, I don't want to say I think. What I would do is I would compromise with Christian Bale. Listen, dude, 70-80% of this movie, you can look like you. You
The
can
rest
look.
of it, give it
You
to
can
us.
you can look like Christian Bale. I'll even let you design the motherfucker, bro. But the last 20% of it, it's us.
Oh, yeah, we need that.
We're gonna CGI your face. We're gonna CGI everything. They're not even gonna know it's you. But being that you're gonna put your foot in this 80% ass, they're gonna know it's you. But we're gonna take it that last 20%. That's what I would do, and I hope that's what they do.
Okay.
They're gonna, yeah.
By chance, if they don't go that direction and they keep it as is, would you be a little disappointed?
No, because I think he looks good enough here. I'm only fighting a battle for you because I know that people like you want this. You people, and I want everyone to be happy. I'm gonna listen. This is a Taika Waititi Thor 2. I'm sold already. Like, there's very little because this movie is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be lighthearted. It's not gonna be as it's not gonna be as heavy as the rest of the properties that have come out recently. It's still going to deal with like cancer and people dying and shit like that, of course, but it's still going to have like a lightheartedness to it. If you think about it, most of the shows, most of the movies that have come out this year, they've all been heavy as fuck. All of them. They've been heavy. So this is the one chance that we get to actually like have some fucking fun. And I'm all for it. So yes, I think that for what it is already, I'm gonna have a blast. I'm gonna love it. Thor, the first Thor the third Thor is my favorite MCU movie. But for people like you and people that are they need that. If they're not gonna get like the Gore the God Butcher story that you want, at least you can at least make them look more.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like, Gore the God Butcher is literally the villain of Thor.
Yeah.
Like, he is the villain. Like, this is it. Like, if they drop the ball on Gore the God Butcher and they don't hit it, like, Thor has nothing left. It's literally just him fighting the Hulk over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. Like, this is his Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I think that's the reason again why you get a Christian Bale, because people, they understand that. And so I think that after it's all said and done, I really do hope that there is a transformation. I know there are transformations. It's like once he gets a hold of this necro sword or whatever the fuck the name of the sword is,
that embeds himself into it.
He's
his tape and stuff.
Yeah, he starts to like deteriorate. So hopefully that leads into a little bit of more of a comic book accurate depiction of him. And so then if that does happen, then you could be happy, I could be happy. Then we can both come in here and say how Taika Waititi.
Hey, you know what? Triggs will tell you, man. Like, I was 100% sold that they got Christian Bale for Gore the God Butcher. So I know just by seeing his previous works, I know he's going to see that character and be like, yes, because of the revenge story, how deep and lure and Shakespearean the character of Gore the God Butcher was, the loss of his children and his family, him going after the gods independently, and him being very poetic when he does it, and him having this like real passionate vendetta that every god is going to suffer.
Yeah.
And then he meets Thor and he realizes that he's one of the only gods the people likes. and he chooses Thor throughout his time to punish him, to be like, you're gonna be the last of them. I'm gonna let you watch all of them die, and I'm gonna make you watch every one of them die. So I felt it from the because when we all heard that Christian Bale was going to be a part of the film, Trigger was 100% that he was going to be the leader of Roxxon, which is this dude Dario Agger, who turns into a Minotaur. Yeah, he's this dude turns into a Minotaur. He's pretty evil, but all he wants to do is go into the other universes and take their resources and sell them on Earth. He's just a businessman, and he's like, dude, that's like Christian Bale in American Psycho, and him and as Bruce Wayne. Like he's just playing like a chauvinistic playboy that can literally Hulk out and turn into a Minotaur. And I was like, could I see that? Yeah, I could see him playing that role. But would he pass up the role to play like a theatrical role of like this person? I was like, no. And then when I saw it and I saw that he wasn't doing makeup, I was like, wait, maybe he's playing an Asgardian in the Matt Damon plays as Gore the God Butcher. He's just not makeuped up. They just haven't painted white. And I was like, I was really just taken that they didn't even want to try it. But listening to how you're saying it, like, you know what, there's got to be some stuff behind the scenes, right? There's got to be some stuff. Kevin Feige could have been like, hey, you know what? Well, fuck the fans. You don't have to even put on anything. Just wear a robe, toga, come to work, chilled out. We'll just throw some paint on you and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And Christian Bale's like, cool, I'll make a couple million really fast off of, fucking Marvel and just come and act my ass off, and that'll be cool. He's just like, I just won't eat like for 3 days straight or whatever, look skinny or whatever. I don't know what he does.
Yeah, he lost a lot of fucking weight for this role.
He always does shit like that. That guy is, he's a fucking phenomenal actor for what he does. So when they put his body through it. What was it, that one movie he did, The Machinist?
Yeah, right.
Where he 70 pounds, he just looked like frail, man.
Yeah.
Frail. So what other stuff did you see in the trailer that really caught your eye?
I mean, it was pretty much the only thing that was new was Gore, and then we got the reveal of Zeus. We did see Zeus.
The idea of the omnipotent city, and then all the gods in the back, all the cosmic gods.
Yep,
I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really, really cool. You called it too, that you saw that you felt that one of them looked like the Watcher.
Yeah,
that was interesting. I didn't think they were going to go with the Watcher right away.
Yeah,
I kind of felt like it would be a little reserved because the Watcher, you never see him unless there's like a catastrophic event that's going to happen, and you're there at the place the decision is being made because everybody's supposed to die, and he just kind of shows up.
Yeah.
So for someone to have a statue of him, it means that someone saw him and survived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Living Tribunal was cool.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like these gods would have probably have known these creatures and the cosmic gods because there's like tiers of entities. I'm guessing, right? So you have like your Thors, then you have your Odins and Zeuses, then you have your in-betweeners, then you have your celestial bodies, and then you have your cosmic gods, and then you have your beyonders past that. That's what I'm guessing. It's roughly about the kind of tiers that we're talking about. But yeah, it was really cool that we finally got an image of death.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little cool. Kind of sucks that it's so late in the game, though.
I would have liked to have had it during the Infinity Saga. Yeah, during the Infinity Saga. But, I mean, you never know. I think that Thanos could come back in some capacity, and that could be because we don't know exactly where his infatuation started from. We don't know.
Childhood.
I mean, childhood, but
there's a comic that explains it happens like when he's a child.
I mean, in the MCU, like in the
movie. Different universe, different multiverse.
Yeah, in the MCU world, we don't know what's driving him. All we know is that he just showed up. He wants the Infinity Stones. He wants to wipe off everything half. We don't know exactly where we don't know exactly where that stems from. So we can get like a backstory at some point. I don't know, but I mean, I would have liked to have her in.
I think she plays such a weaving role in the original series with Thanos and like just being the god of death herself. But the thing that got very weird and confusing was when they introduced Hela in the comic books as the goddess of death.
Yeah.
And then you were kind of like, wait a minute, isn't the goddess of death? Death?
Yeah.
Like what part of death does Hela work for or whatnot? So that's the part that got really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Jane Foster story, when they introduce the ultimate hammer, Hela joins with Thanos and then they start making out and they get married, or there's like a weird like story where they almost get married and then he like shafts her at the wedding. He kind of like blue balls her at the wedding and he's like, I don't love you. I love death. Fuck out of here, stupid bitch. It's very funny. That's a really great one. But yeah, this idea of accuracy, right? Like the way that I am with Gore the God Butcher and all this stuff. Like, why is it that sometimes it's good and then sometimes it's bad? And what I mean by that is, yes, I'm not excited, and I was kind of disappointed with how they handled the Gore character from what it looks like. Of course, we haven't seen the film. We don't know if there's any transformations. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We're just going off of what we're assuming off of the theory.
Yeah.
But there's this thing that's like, everyone's excited because, oh man, trailer's awesome. Let me type about it on my Facebook and let me be the first one to respond. But then everyone was talking about, oh my God, look at Black Bolt. He looks so comic accurate. Look at Reed Richards, so perfect and pretty from the comics. It's like, when is it okay and when is it bad to expect proper representation from the comic books? You get me, right?
Well, that's something different. Black Bolt, you just have somebody in a costume. When you're talking about God the Good Boy, Gore the God Butcher, you're talking about changing possibly one of the greatest actors of our generation's entire face to have him not look recognizable. He's not going to go for that. When it comes to Black Bolt, you just throw the asshole in a suit and he's good.
Yeah, he's not an A-list actor.
You know what I'm saying?
Came out in a shitty series.
So I don't think that it's up to certain people. It's up to Christian Bale. Dude, do you want Christian Bale or do you not want him? All right, if you want him, well, this is what he's saying. He's not gonna be walking around an entire movie where he looks like this comic book creature. He's just not gonna do it. So then what do you want to do? Do you want to keep him or do you want to go get somebody else? No, I gotta keep him because I gotta market the motherfucker. So you go and get him, and now that's what you get.
I don't know, man. The reason why it catches me by surprise, like the way I am, is the Carl Urban situation. You remember Carl Urban, right? Billy Butcher from The Boys?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He played Judge Dredd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever got to see the movie Dredd that he did.
The newer one, right?
The new one, right?
The newest one, yeah, I did see it.
Yeah. I mean, that movie was fun. Story-wise, it was a little weird.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But it was very, very much like The Raid. Like just going up a tower or whatever, and every level's like different, and then you finally reach the last boss. It's very much the video game Kung Fu.
I love that game, by the way.
Yeah, the punch and kick one and duck, and then it's pretty much that game. When he was approached for that film, he literally was told, hey, we really want you for this series or this movie, but we have some bad news in the story of Judge Dredd. And right before the guy finished the sentence, he says, oh, never takes off his helmet. I know that. I'm cool with that. I know who Judge Dredd is. Like, he knew the character.
Yeah.
And he knew that the representation of the character and what it bestowed was the fact that his face wasn't going to be shown the entire movie.
Okay.
Like, I think that's very noble of the guy to respect the character that much and be like, hey, you know what? This character has its own fan base. It's created its own lure, its own history, its own structure. And the people that are behind it, that's given it this much opportunity to be here, they love this character for who he is and what he does.
Yeah.
Like, I respect that. And that's kind of like the deep berry that's in me, is that when anybody, it's like Iron Man. Like when he first got introduced and he was introduced to Robert Downey Jr., I wouldn't assume that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be like, well, I'm going to tell you what I want with this character, not what you expect to get. Knowing that there's so much history and so much investment in the character and in the story and in all the lore and everything that they've created, and the attention that the creation itself has manifested. I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
But that's time put in, though. Like, that's time that they've had to grow with each other and trust each other, and
Yes.
there had to have been multiple times where, you know, Robert Downey wanted it one way and Kevin Feige wanted another
With
way,
the other way.
and it had to be a compromise. That's what comes with the time in. When it comes to Christian Bale, there's no time in. This
He
is
just
what
yells at the sound
this is.
dude, or what's that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. This is what I want. If you want to give it to me, then we can rock. If not, then you can find somebody else. Personally, if it
I just
came,
think they folded.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I think that if it were me, I probably would have went with someone else. But now that we're here with Christian Bale, dude, we got
Yeah.
fucking. Have you ever seen American Psycho, bro? Like, it's fucking Christian Bale, bro. Like, you ever seen Batman, bro? Like, he's a fucking great actor. So it's like,
See, and that's the
I'm
thing.
never. I don't care what he looks like. I don't see him doing a bad job. So
But you see,
I'm
like
not
that's
gonna
the
have an
thing.
issue.
Also, like there was the Batman film that he
Mhm.
did the majority of the film, almost half of it with a mask on.
That was a long time ago, brother.
Yeah, I know, but it's
And
still
and and
nonetheless like
and the prices went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price, bro. My agent was different back then. I didn't know I wanted this in my contract. I didn't know I was worth this amount of money. Now circling back about 10 years after that, now you're talking to a whole different Christian Bale. So
Yeah.
I get it when you know, back then during the Batman time, he was still up and
that's 3
coming.
films.
Yeah, he was still up and coming to a
I
certain
wouldn't say up and
degree.
coming. He was already because that was
He,
still after American Psycho.
but American Psycho was his claim to fame up until Batman.
Yeah,
There wasn't
that
there
was
wasn't
after The Machinist.
yeah, and again, all those movies that you can name before Batman, these are all like cult classics. These are not movies that the majority of people have gone to see. Like not a lot of people can quote me anything from American Psycho or from The Machinist or whatever the fuck it's
Yeah.
called. Batman was the one. So when he hit the map with Batman, that's when things turned a little bit different for him. That was a long
But then
time
again,
ago.
we're still talking Disney and we're still talking Marvel. They have really deep pockets.
Yeah,
Deep pockets. I'm talking.
but I don't think. All right, Christian Bale is a actor's actor. There's not gonna be an amount of money that you could throw at him to make him what should I say, like take whatever effort he's gonna put into it away, if that makes any difference. Like, he's not gonna do it just for the money. He's gonna want to be able to fulfill whatever need he wants out of portraying this character. If you get what I'm saying. I don't think you could just throw him money and say, hey, shut up and just
and
let
just
me
do.
yeah, let me hide your face. I don't think that's the kind of guy we're dealing with here.
Yeah, that's
at
really
all.
what I think it is more. I just think it's just his personalness that he's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So you can take it or you can't.
Yeah, that's
There-
what I'm saying.
there
You can
are
take it or
other
leave it.
actors.
Yeah, you
There
can
are
take it
other
or leave
actors
it.
that you could bring in, but I just think Kevin Feige saw it as, hey man,
We got him.
this is Christian Bale.
Yeah, we got him.
Yeah,
And he's
this is
and
Christian Bale, man.
yeah. And again, that's what I would do if I was Feige. I'd be like, listen, I'll even give you 90%. I'll give you 90% of the movie where
Just
you
give me a
look
little
like
bit,
you.
just something.
Just give me 10%. Just give me the last
Mark
half
Ruffalo
hour.
does it. Captain
Yes.
America does it. Everyone puts a mask on.
Just
sooner
give
or
me
later.
the last. Just give me like the last half hour, 25 minutes, and I promise you, we'll get everyone on board and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, me personally, I don't see him having like a change in the character or a transformation. I think the only transformation we're going to get is how much of the black blood is going to be leaking out of his body from all the different orifices and stuff.
Yeah,
and maybe
but that's got to lead. That's got to lead to something, though. The fact that there is black blood leaking from this perfectly normal human being's body, that has to lead into something.
Well, what I think it's going to lead to is going to be the black cape. But it's going to be him elevated off of the ground, and the black cape being like the legs, like almost like a squid, like floating.
Okay.
But he's going to have that cape that he has, but it's going to be all the symbiote.
Okay.
That's what I think it's eventually going to get to.
And even that
sounds pretty fun. I mean, it still sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah.
To be able to see all that action going on. I mean, I really hope that we didn't get a reveal by Zeus's blade being in Valkyrie's hands. You did have some very interesting theories that I do want to talk about on who you think is going to get the cut.
Yeah.
Let's get into that real quick. So what do you think is eventually going to happen, and who do you think is going to stay and go?
So it's kind of answering Vince's question. He said, "Who do you think is gonna die in the movie Thor or Jane Foster?" I
Great
don't think
fire.
I
Good shit, Vince.
yeah, I don't think Thor dies at all in
No.
this movie. I do think Jane Foster does die eventually at some point, but then she does get resurrected
There you go.
somehow. She does get resurrected. So I do think Jane Foster dies. I think Valkyrie dies as well, and then Jane Foster is the replacement. Um, I do think Zeus dies along with a lot of the other gods, and I also think Gore dies. I don't think he makes it out this movie.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
don't.
know
I
what?
don't.
Like, so in the comic book series, like Gore in the very end goes kaput. Like he dies at the end.
Yeah.
Um, I did tell you about the comic book series where Thor gets like the two hammers
Mm-hmm.
and does this stuff, but the MCU's already kind of ruined that opportunity for them to have like that cool like let me slam two hammers together because they did it with Stormbreaker and
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Um, but I do have some theories too.
Go.
So I have a vibe which I still have no idea why everyone's excited because it doesn't make sense. That Beta Ray Bill is going to be in this series.
I did hear that.
There is a shot where it's Thor and Korg,
And there's a space
and there's a
missing.
space on the left side that a lot of people are like, "Oh man, that looks like someone standing there." I bet you that's Beta Ray Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a little bit taken by that because Beta Ray Bill has such an interesting introduction into the Thor lore. Like he does have a very cool intro, which is he's a Corbinite. He's like the last of his race. He's protecting a ship. It gets attacked and ransacked by aliens or something. He sends out a distress call. Thor shows up, and then Beta starts fighting him. And then in the fight, he's able to lift Mjolnir and hit him with it. And then Thor's like, "Whoa, you picked up my hammer? That's so fucking cool. No one's ever done that. Here, come over here. I'm going to take you to meet my dad. You're real cool, dude." And then he takes him to go meet Odin. And Odin's like, "Oh shit, you can pick up the hammer too? Well, fuck, there's only one way we can solve this. Both of you got to fight to the death." And Odin makes both of them fight, and Beta Ray Bills wins. And in the process of it, Beta's holding the hammer up, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to kill this dude because he's your own son, and that's fucked up." So he drops the hammer, and then Odin's like, "Haha, well, you passed my test. I'm going to give you a hammer too." And he just makes him a hammer and just gives him another one. But there's no more Odin. Like so Odin's out. There's no one to make hammers. There's no one to make like hammers like that. But it just so happens that the hammer that Thor wields right now is called Stormbreaker. And Stormbreaker is the name of Mjolnir's or Beta Ray Bill's hammer. That's his original name's hammer. And with your theory that Jane Foster ends up becoming the new Valkyrie, that leaves the hammer up for grabs, which means it'll probably go back to Thor, which right now in the comic books, if you look at the way the hammer is drawn, it has all the cracks and all that stuff in it because it's been reforged. It's been put back together. And then you have the opportunity for Thor to be like, "Hey man, well, we have a Valkyrie. I am now the new Odin. That position of Thor is still open, man. Do you want to take it?" And Beta Ray Bill's going to be like, "You betcha," and gives him Stormbreaker.
I'm with it.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
with it.
that would be a very easy way for them to introduce Beta Ray Bill. Why people want Beta Ray Bill, I don't know why, because there's never been a long enough comic book art so recently with him, but he's a cool character. It's a cool little side note character. I just don't feel like we have an introduction for him yet, and I don't know if with all the stuff that's going on, we're gonna have enough time to really put him in there in a proper origin story, or if they're just gonna be like, "Oh hey, dude, the Korg's gonna be like, oh hey man, I added this dude on Fortnite and he seems pretty cool. His name's Beta," and they meet each other and it ends up being Beta Ray Bill, and he was on our episode.
Being that this is a cosmic movie, you don't really need an introduction. It's just the fact that they're going around being as guardians of the universe and they run into this character, or they run into this race that need help, and boom, Beta Ray
like
Bill.
a fly by night kind of thing. Like, oh
That's
hey
it.
man, we just did this thing.
Yeah.
I just brought this dude. He's kind of just chilling out with us or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't. That's why I think if it was more of a grounded story, you might have an issue. But being this is a cosmic, that's all they do. They go around and they start helping people and start
But does it
fixing
lose
situations.
Okay, so really weird question. Do you feel like it loses its flavor of the Beta Ray Bill story if he doesn't need the enchantment anymore to pick up the hammer? You know what I mean?
Does it take away from his?
Yeah, because that was the whole thing about Beta Ray Bill originally, is that no one in the comic books had ever lifted Thor's hammer, except in the What If with like Jane Foster or anyone else. But that was the thing. Like, this was the 616. This wasn't a What If.
Mhm.
And literally just another random dude like just picked up the hammer with the enchantment. And he turned into like, he had all the Asgardian armor and all that stuff. So that was the kind of big selling point for like, hey, that's that dude. Like, there was really nothing else to Beta Ray Bill except that he lifted the hammer and then he was given his own hammer. And then literally from the comic books he was missing, he just went off and did his own thing. He would pop in one, maybe twice, like a year, and that was it. So like now, if you kind of bring him into the comics or into the films and he doesn't have a hammer by chance with an enchantment to lift, he just grabs a hammer and hits Thor with it. Like, does it kind of lose its flavor, or do you have to kind of like play with the origin story and then just give him the opportunity to be a Thor later?
I mean,
right?
I know what you mean, but I don't see that happening. I don't know if that happens in this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. We're just guessing by now.
Yeah, I don't know if that happens in this movie because again, yeah, you would need some type of you don't have enough time to be doing all this with all these fucking characters, dude. Like I don't think so, because you said it's like a runtime of like an hour and it's 2 hours. It's a 2-hour movie.
Film.
So I don't know if you have the time for it, but who knows? Maybe they will. And I do listen again. I have all the faith in Taika Waititi, so I'm on board with whatever he decides to do. I don't know if you've realized, but I am championing. Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I am championing this movie. Like, it's going to be a smash, and I love it. I think it's going to be a slept-on movie, and it's going to hit hard. I honestly think so.
My roommate's making the Jane Foster costume right now.
I saw that. It looks pretty dope. Yeah.
So she's already on that. And we have a friend of ours from the Philippines named Mark Desposo. Deposo. This guy, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity, but there was an old TV a film called The Guyver.
Yeah.
We talked about it. Well, he made entire armor out of silicone.
Oh, shit. Like cosplay type
like
thing.
Straight. Like, he made the original, and it looks... This guy is an artist, dude.
Wow. Okay.
And it's made out of silicone, which is the same way it was made in the other film.
Yeah.
So he did it the true HUA, and he's making his version of Jane Foster's Thor. And his looks, of course, like movie quality, dude.
Movie quality. That's
movie
awesome.
Quality.
That's pretty awesome.
So we got a lot of people out there, a lot of artists that are going to be doing a lot of the renditions. Now, we saw earlier that Vince put, I don't like Thor's new helmet in the trailer. So I'm guessing he's talking about when he says Jane, and he's looking directly at it, which I'm not gonna lie, that looks like it's not a part of that scene.
Yeah. So again, I think there's multiple shots in this trailer that look like they were digitally altered for whatever reason to mask what's really going on in the scene and whatever. And that's what Disney does when it comes to like these MCU movies. They do shit like that. Like they'll fake something or have you think something is the way that it is, and when you actually watch the movie, it's not like that at all. So yeah, I do know what you're talking about. I have heard people say that, so I wouldn't get too attached to the helmet personally, Vince.
And I must ask, what was your reaction to the "you flick too hard, damn it"?
I thought it was funny as fuck, man. And again, I think that's what we're missing in the MCU more often is that humor, dude. Like that humor. Like, whoever knew that fucking what's his name, Chris Hemsworth was fucking funny? Who knew that he was funny until it took well,
everyone casually did, but they didn't want him for that in the first two films.
Yeah, but
Taika Waititi's the one that
he's bringing it out of him, and it's because and and it makes for a more enjoyable movie, to be quite honest with you. So,
But that's
yeah,
gonna be the dude that the problem with me in that is that they've really dumbed down Thor tremendously. Like dumbed him down. And this guy's gonna be the king of the cosmos. Like,
yeah, but Thor isn't the smartest
oh, he
of.
is not the smartest. Like, you're absolutely correct. Like that,
That's what I'm
you could
saying.
have ended
So,
the sentence there. Like, he is not the smartest, but his dude mentality in his a lot of these quips and quotes are so funny.
so you don't like the bro aspect of him. You don't like the
There's a certain part, like, dude, I love how like nonchalant he is,
Mhm.
which is like that whole like when it's because it's the same humor. I mean, that's what makes it so good. It's literally like Ryan Reynolds the way he plays Deadpool. Like, he
He
plays
doesn't
Deadpool and he's
exactly.
sarcastic through and through from beginning to the end of the film. He is the same humor the entire way.
Yeah, I
Chris
think
Hemsworth knows the humor of Thor through and through the entire film, and he
exactly.
doesn't miss a cue. He doesn't, because the same way that when Chris Pratt, the Star Lord, is like, you have to look the people that you love in the eye and do that, and he's kind of like scooting
Yeah,
over a little bit to try to get his attention and do that stupid shit. He's got that face on.
yeah,
That's the same humor as the "you flick too hard, damn it!" Like, you were supposed to flick, but not that hard. Like,
yeah.
it's so funny because he was expecting the flick and some of his clothes to fly off, but since he flicked extremely hard and all of his clothes flew off, that's what made him upset.
Yeah, I think the appeal to me, as of right now, Thor is probably my favorite MCU
MCU
character.
character, cool.
Because he doesn't take himself too seriously, but when it comes time to get it
You
in,
ready?
he's frontline and he's a bitch to fight with. So I love that about him. Like, again, I don't need a superhero character to be so serious. Like,
All the
this
time.
guy, this guy is powerful and he doesn't even really understand it completely yet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
he doesn't comprehend it.
he doesn't even really comprehend it yet. So I think that kind of innocence about him is pretty dope. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this movie. I was a little bit nervous for how the trailer was gonna look, but it looks pretty good, and I'm all for it. So
So
we'll see.
let me ask you something. So this goes off of the cusp or the idea of, so there is some debate and talk about that scene, the "you flick too hard."
Yeah.
And the conversation is, well, I don't understand how it's okay for them to do that to males, and it's not okay because if you did it to a female, it would be looked at in a different way. How do you feel about that, and why do you think that is?
Everything doesn't necessarily have. I think just thinking that everything needs to have an answer is stupid. I don't think I don't understand why this is that really a double standard. Like, the fact that we're looking at a man's ass as opposed to looking at a woman's ass.
I
Is
mean,
that
in the
is there
concept of it,
is there
in
a
the
double
bare
standard?
concept of it, I mean, in the bare concept of it, in the sense of the argument of equality, there is. But like, I think in the way that we're wired as males,
So wait, I need
like,
to understand this. No, I need to understand this. So when you
okay,
say in the sense of equality, that
to be treated equally, to
but
be respected equal. Let's say
just
respected equally.
I understand that. So are we saying that no one's ass should have been shown, or are we saying that if we show a man's ass, we should be able to show a woman's ass as well?
I guess that's the argument that people are talking about.
So
That you're asking me?
I'm just no, I'm asking from what you're hearing is more of the uproar the fact that
There's
we're
people, from what I've read, there's people that are arguing in the tune of, well, I don't know why they put this in the film, because if it was a female, it would be accepted a different way.
okay. Well, it wasn't, and so I'm confused as to why we're arguing or not arguing, but why
Good
this is
argument.
not you and me or just even having a debate, but why people are arguing or
Why
having
they
a
would
debate
mention it.
about this, because it's not what happened. We got a male's ass. It's for some reason more acceptable for the masses. It was for number one, it was blurred out. So if you
Yeah,
had it,
that's my thing, is I don't even see it. I thought it's kind of funny.
yeah, so it's blurred out, number one, and then number two, if it really is, and you're probably gonna see his ass in the movie. Just, I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, listen, I'm about as straight as they fucking come, bro. But I'm not gonna turn down a woman looking at Jason Momoa's ass or looking at Chris Hemsworth's ass that he fucking worked his ass off, no pun intended, for because I'm uncomfortable with a male's ass on. I'm not built that way. So like when you ask me what do I feel about it, I don't think it's that serious personally.
No. I'm not talking about how you feel about seeing his ass.
No, you're asking me
about,
what I feel as though about people having an
conversation,
argument, and I say it's not that serious. Like that's my answer. It's not that serious that we're showing a male's ass. Listen, it's not that serious, dude. We don't need to.
Where do you feel like that debate comes from?
I don't know because I don't comprehend that. I don't view it as I can't put myself in the shoes of someone that finds it
Weird or
uncomfortable
offending
or offending me because I don't find it that way.
Yeah.
And that should be okay. Like there should be nothing wrong with admitting that I just don't understand that thought process. I don't understand that. The fact that people try to justify it or whatever is where the issue comes, because that just leads to arguments and that leads to more in debates. I don't know why people find that uncomfortable. I don't find it uncomfortable looking at Chris Hemsworth's ass, bro. And I don't find it uncomfortable the fact that people find it acceptable to look at a man's ass and not a woman's. I have too many other things in my life to worry about than even have that as something that I care about. I don't care.
Do you think that those type of jokes or scenes, in the sense of people wanting to, I don't know, call it for equality or whatnot, do you think that they should just practically be removed from cinema in the sense of
see,
like,
I think that's where I'm losing. Where you're losing me.
Disney.
You're losing me because like when you're saying the equality, what does that mean? Like, is it the equality, the fact that we should be looking at a woman's ass if we're looking at a man's ass? Like when you're saying equality, that's where you're losing me. Like, I don't understand what that means. Like,
I wouldn't know how to put it in any other term then.
What's the argument here? The fact that it just shouldn't, like, we shouldn't be looking at Chris Hemsworth's ass? I'm lost.
No, like, okay, so the idea is plain and simple. If the argument that a lot of people, plain in terms, is if it was a female, why would it be accepted differently? When if it's a male, it's looked at as a joke or a ridicule or whatnot, which I don't think it's a joke. I think Chris.
I don't think it would be looked at differently either. Personally,
that's America's ass.
Yeah, like I don't think personally, if I'm watching the movie and let's say the roles were reversed and it was Jane's ass out there, yeah, I wouldn't think of it any differently. Personally, it was a joke. Nothing was seen. You saw someone's ass, bro. Like, grow the fuck up. Like, it's an ass. Like, I don't know, dude. It's not that serious. Even if it were a woman, it's not that serious.
I think the joke is funny.
It's funny. It's a funny fucking joke. Laugh at the fucking joke, and
it was just as equivalent as the joke in Ragnarok when the Hulk's butt comes out.
Yeah,
I thought it was just as funny. It's done in a really comical way. I get it. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I do understand the comedy around it. Sometimes the satire is cool. I could see the second argument coming where people are like, well, if it was a chick, people would be upset. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is we're hardwired differently when it comes to seeing these things.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right? Like when I see a dude's butt, like I'll laugh because I'm a dude.
Yeah,
I'm a dude. It's just funny. Sometimes it's just funny. Like I think guys just have a different type of sense of humor. And if I'm not mistaken, in every Thor movie, we always get a shirtless scene, and the shirtless scene.
I was gonna say that. It's not about to say that. Yo, ladies, dude, man. Why is this even a surprise? Like you saw what the fuck. Yo, Chris Hemsworth. Kudos to this motherfucker. He is jacked.
Dude. Yeah, he's huge.
He is jacked, bro. If you don't think
shirtless scenes, like those aren't.
If you didn't think you were gonna get
into the movies, man.
Nah, dude, he worked too hard for that ass, bro. You were getting an ass scene.
I tell people this all the time. I go, look, don't complain. Because if you're a dude and you want to take your chick to see this movie, she's not gonna want to sit through a fucking action movie
Yeah,
if you
bro.
tell her that there's a shirtless scene of Chris Hemsworth, she's gonna sit through that 2-hour movie and be happy
for
and
that
get
10
that
seconds.
and
Yep.
that for that 10-second
For that
shirtless
10
scene, dude.
seconds.
I
Yep.
tell people all the fucking time that that's what it
Hell
is, dude.
yeah.
No,
Nah,
but
dude.
straight up,
You should have known you were getting some type of shirtless scene or ass
dude,
scene.
that's
Like
a
it was gonna
given.
happen, bro.
That's a given in a Thor movie.
Yeah, it was gonna happen, dude.
But yeah, overall, I think it was pretty good. Yes, the makeup is kind of weird for me for gore, but is it a killer? No. I'm still super fucking hyped to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I want them to respect the story of Gore the God Butcher and give us a beautiful fucking telling of the story.
Okay.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
I
Onwards.
think you'll get that. I think you'll get that.
I think so. I think so because it's such an amazing story. Such an amazing story. Onwards and onwards to our last part of the conversation.
Yes, sir.
We got our first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. Disney Plus.
We did.
Ewan McGregor is back and he is embracing the Star Wars life again.
That he is.
We finally got our drop. It dropped yesterday or the day before at like 10:50, which was amazing. So I didn't have to wait till 2 a.m. to watch it this time.
Yeah, right.
I could go to sleep and go to work the next day and be like, hey, I saw
a normal human being. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt good. I really hope that Disney's like, hey, we're gonna do this more often. You know, we're gonna release it at 10:50 the day before. So be excited, everybody. I must ask, non-spoilers, what was your reaction for the first 2 episodes? How did you feel? What did you like? What did you hate? Like, drop it on me, man. Drop me some knowledge.
It was cool. It was cool. It wasn't as unbelievable as I wanted it to be. I really wanted the first 2 episodes to be like a knockout the park. Like I really wanted to. It had some good things, it had some not so good things. I don't know. We'll go into the spoilers later, I guess, but I can't really say too much about what I did and what I didn't like. But the pacing was a little bit weird. That was one thing that was blaring to me. Some scenes were taking their time when they shouldn't have, and some other scenes that were rushed that probably should have let marinate a little bit more. The acting for the most part was really good. I think Ewan McGregor is doing a great job. I do like to see, I was saying off camera, just watching Ewan McGregor kind of combined the Obi-Wan from episode 3 and trying to merge that into the Ben Kenobi of A New Hope is really good to see. Like the mannerisms and the word patterns and the speech patterns and all that stuff. It's really good to see. So I was very I was really entertained by that. Riva as a character, I think she's badass. She's she's listed under the good column, if you will. Kumail Nanjiani, he did a okay job for what he was given. Who else? Joe Edgerton as Uncle Owen did a great job. He had a very limited role in the first 2 episodes, but from what screen time he did have, it was really good. Yeah, it was really good. It was really good, and you kind of felt his presence there. And those are the goods. All right, let's just compartmentalize that. Those are the good things that I took from the first 2 episodes. Now, the things that were kind of a little bit off-putting to me. Number one, damn, I don't want to give there. I'll wait until we do the spoilers later on. For one of those, but like the fight sequences really weren't amazing to me. They looked kind of slow and not as fluid as I would have liked there, especially with like the hand-to-hand. That was kind of, and when watching the trailer, I got trailer fished, and I thought they might have like sped that up a little bit, but when we watched it, it was kind of slowed down. it was really slowed down. And the Inquisitors were just not something I was a fan of.
Yeah, so, the way they used they weren't expected to be excused that way.
Exactly. So that's as far as I can go non-spoiler. If you want to get into spoilers, I can go into detail about some of those things. But how about yourself, sir? What did you think about the first 2 episodes?
I thought the episodes, environment wise and visuals wise, was a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
It literally sucked me back into the Star Wars universe on looks alone.
Okay.
Seeing Ewan McGregor come back as Obi-Wan, uh, of the like after the third episode of the originals of the prequels, I'm sorry, of the third of the episodes, seeing him come back and have like that long hair, the beard, the rugged look, I felt like we didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
It felt good. It felt good to be there. The first episode, I feel, was like a really good chef's kiss.
Mhm.
Like it was really good foreplay. Where I feel episode 2 was very messy. I feel that, but that's more script wise. I feel it was messy. The environment they created, the planet they created, I thought that was cool. The character designs and some of the people around the shots, and those were cool. But the script in the second episode, I feel, was a little clunky. But the first one is the one that sold me. So, like one
I get
episode,
that.
I could take a fall because the first episode hit.
Yeah.
Comparing it to previous series, where this is comparing it to Moon Knight and Boba Fett, where the first episodes kind of lost me in the very beginning. I feel this one was a pretty solid intro. You really see the turmoil and the feeling of what Obi-Wan's kind of hardships as he's gone through. Like you're invested in the character. I liked it. But yeah, you can't really get into it too much without spoilers for the rest of the part of the conversation. But first episode, I feel like as an introduction to a season for a Star Wars season, it was a great introduction, like 10 out of 10. I was 100% hooked after the first episode.
If the first episode wasn't as good as it was, which it was
Yes,
fucking,
I wouldn't
it
have
was
even
great.
cared about the second season.
We would have had a totally different conversation today.
Yeah, definitely.
We would have had a totally
Definitely.
different conversation. But
The second episode, I would probably give it like a 7. I wouldn't give it a 6. I'd have to give it at least a 7.
yeah.
Because for what it's worth, like, yeah, there was some really weird pacing and the script is kind of all over the place. But it kind of gave me the clunky feeling of the prequels. Like the chase scene of like when Anakin and Obi-Wan are chasing that bounty hunter. Like, I don't know if you remember how that episode felt or that chase scene felt.
No, once we get into the spoilers, because we're kind of tiptoeing into spoilers right now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's the only
if
vibe that I can get from that is that's what it kind of brought me close to.
Yeah.
It did give me prequel vibes in some parts. But definitely going to be going into spoilers. So everybody that's out there, if you're listening and you have not seen the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan, we're going to jump into some spoiler talk. If you haven't seen it and you do not wish to follow, we want to thank you very much for jumping into the show. We always appreciate every one of you guys for watching. But we're going to jump right into the spoilers action after our Batman song. All right. So let's go ahead and talk spoilers. So, Brian, what's up? How do you feel about the spoiler talk? Let's talk episode 1.
All right. So episode 1 was, again, they knocked it out the park. I really don't have anything bad to say about episode 1.
Mhm.
I do like the connection. It's like it's a bridge. You're watching a bridge between episode 3 and A New Hope, and I like it. It was the pace of the first episode was great. It wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. It elaborated on things that it needed to elaborate on. It didn't elaborate on things it didn't need to, so I appreciated that. It described exactly what it needed to, as a meaning like where Obi-Wan is mentally, physically, what's going on. It did all that in the first episode. The second episode kind of lost me. It kind of lost me for a few reasons. Again, the fight sequences weren't something that I was happy about. And Princess Leia, dude. I know Rob said that he likes Leia. That was Princess Leia was literally the worst part of the show. And I'm not even
okay, but don't get us wrong. Don't get Brian wrong. the introduction to have Leia as a character, totally fucking cool. Like I was so taken by that because that never came to mind that they would make her a role more than Luke Skywalker would be.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, it's like we just saw Luke in the trailer and we were like, oh, cool, you're gonna see Luke as a kid in certain shots. But to give Leia an episode like in the fucking second episode,
yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
there's potential there. There's a lot of cool potential.
definitely,
But man,
definitely,
episode 2 was not it.
definitely cool. Again, I wish I was somebody that could just watch this and like not care that the child actor is shitting the bed. I don't even like the way that she's portraying Leia, to be honest with you. And then the character itself is so annoying. Like I don't mind an annoying character, but when you're going out of your way to be over the top annoying, it's a little bit much.
A little too much.
Like it just does, and she's like a walking contradiction to me. It's like you can't be the smartest person in the room in one scene, and then in the next scene, probably be one of the dumbest people walking
in the whole fucking
in the whole galaxy. Yeah, like there should be no reason why this Jedi that is risking his life, he's been on the run for the last 10 years. He's risking that to pick you up, and because honestly, it's not even really clear as to why she doesn't trust him. She doesn't fucking trust him. And
I mean, it's not like she was in a way better position after he gets there.
Exactly. So that didn't make any sense. Honestly, the Inquisitors were completely useless. Up until now, unless it turns out that she's gonna in turn become the leader of the Inquisitors, which doesn't really make any sense because they don't like her anyway. So I don't understand what's going on with the Inquisitors.
Well, I don't know, because like wouldn't it be kind of considered like the Sith kind of mentality?
Yeah, but they don't like her though. Like, how are they going to take orders from someone they don't like?
Because she just killed the strongest variation of him, and she just takes his role.
I guess.
I mean, I guess it could go that way.
I guess. I just think that's that's just a really weird spot to put yourself into if that's what you're gonna do. And again, there's little things that just don't make any fucking sense. Like, dude, I am the most easygoing person in the world. I promise you. I only argue just because I think it's good, to have people debate about certain shit, right? But when it just comes to things that just don't make any fucking sense, it drives me up the fucking wall. You're telling me that Obi-Wan, who has been on the run for the last 10 fucking years, finds out that being on this planet is a hazard to his health. There are bounty hunters. Every bounty hunter on this bounty hunter infested fucking planet.
Everyone's a fucking bounty hunter.
Yeah, I have never seen so many fucking bounty hunters in my goddamn life. And they're all on this one planet.
Everybody has a fucking iPhone watch. Man.
Everyone has a iPhone watch. They know what he looks like. They know everything about what he looks. They know he's a Jedi. They know every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing this guy does when he finds out that all these bounty hunters are looking for a Jedi, what does he do?
He puts on
a fucking Jedi robe. Did anyone else catch that and say, holy shit, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life?
They're like, man, this motherfucker's crazy. Look at him. He got the
and then not only that, but then, okay, let's say you put on the fucking robe. You put the robe on, you put the hood on. There were scenes when he had the robe and the hood that he didn't fucking have it on.
Oh yeah. That he's just running around. There's a whole scene where he's just running around the streets chasing the girl.
And with his face out.
Yeah, with his face out. Everyone was like, hey, wait a minute. That dude looks super familiar.
I'm like, come on, guys. There had to have been someone there that had to catch that. Someone had to catch that. Like, yo, we can't. I'm not going out like this. Like, I'm not going to be the laughing. Like, we can't do that. Like, honestly,
episode 2 was a little bit off.
Yeah, that one again, it was just weird. Like little things, like the first episode were so good in those little things, those little details. It was just perfect. And then in this one, it didn't feel as though it was taken so serious at all. Yeah, and honestly, I would have left Leia's little ass in the town. If I'm on the run and they're looking for me, they're not even looking for you. Like you're the
Oh,
kid. They're not even,
in a little locker. Or...
they're not even. Yeah, they're not even looking for you. They're looking for me. Like I'm the one that's about to die out here, not you.
Yeah, you're just bait.
Yeah, like it's so stupid. What did you think about the Inquisitors, though? What did you think about how the Grand Inquisitor was dealt with?
Dude, I don't know, like, cause it was very I was the first one to say it off camera. The second episode is written very weakly. Like it's very weak. The second episode, like I just feel like it's almost like two different writers.
Yeah.
The first episode was written where it was almost like a fan letter to the prequels of Obi-Wan. Like it was literally like, hey man, this is your dude. He's not like Luke. He's not like Luke Skywalker, where he's throwing lightsabers and drinking blue milk from a cow's titty.
Yeah.
Like this, he's not doing that. He's a broken man. He's like 20 years almost from being on a pediatric table. Like this dude, like he's real close to being in a nursing home. Like he's weathered. He's very weathered, and he's seen some shit, and he's tired. Like this dude he's tired. Like enough that you can tell when he's sitting in the dark in the cave and he talks out loud for Qui-Gon. Like this guy, he just doesn't have any answers anymore. Like he's out there just, shooting in the dark for someone to kind of like give him some guidance or something. He's a broken man. It's a really, really good telling of the story. And then you have episode 2 where he throws all that shit away to chase a little fucking kid that he hasn't heard from in years. That was another person's job to take care of. That was the dumbest, underwritten, we figured it out moment in all of Star Wars history. Like literally, like the death of Padme is literally just Amber shit on her. Like just the whole, like, we're going to hide these kids and no one's ever going to know, for some random ass person to be like, oh, I found some papers and these are the kids. Like that was the explanation we got. That was the explanation we got, that someone figured out that Leia Organa is actually the daughter of Darth Vader. Like that was it. That man, dude, I was so disappointed on how fast that shit was. And it was
again the pacing, like that was almost like a throwaway. That was almost like a throwaway line, actually. Like, I went into the records, I went into the data bank and found out
like, that everyone was like, oh, bet, cool, man. Well, thank God you did that shit, because there goes all the history and all the knowledge and what the fuck is the archive and where the fuck is that located? Like, where did you find that at? Like, what computer are you on that has that?
That's something
or what?
Exactly. That's something that should have been a little bit more drawn out,
man.
Yeah, that one, like, again, I don't want to take a shit on this. I was telling you behind the scenes, like, I could probably spend about an hour just tearing this second episode apart, because it just I didn't like it at all. And if it wasn't for the first episode, we would be having a different conversation. But I don't want to shit on it too much, because again, it's only 2 episodes in.
Yes.
But it does seem like there is a pacing issue between the first 2 episodes. It does, and like I will agree with you, it does look like the person that wrote the first episode had nothing to do with the second episode. And not only that, but they didn't even like talk. Like, if there were 2 people that wrote both, they didn't even like talk in between.
Maybe one of them was like in an argument with their boyfriend, and they were like, it'd be really shitty if I wrote this script bad and gave all these Star Wars fans this, because my boyfriend is a fan of that.
Vince, the Stormtrooper Easter egg, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we did see that. Man. That was pretty cool.
To see the guy that plays Boba Fett come back to play just a random character.
Yep.
That was amazing. I really love that scene. For some reason, I talk about this a lot. I've talked about this during the Boba show and the Mando show. I really wanted to see that, because we know that there was a million of those dudes that had gotten cloned, and now it's like they just disappear. All of them gone. And in the blink of an eye, a million people just disappear for no reason. This was the only time, and it was done so classy that we at least get some type of like acknowledgement that there's veteran clones of the Clone War. There's veteran clones of the Clone War. That was a weird way to say it, but Yeah, dude, it was so cool. I really, really respected that. I love that actually.
You know,
Um,
one other thing I thought was interesting. I don't mean to cut you off. One
no, no,
thing that I it didn't pass by me. Um, what was the name of that planet where all the bounty hunters were on? Do you remember the name of it or whatever? It doesn't make a difference.
sorry.
But you know
No,
what I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
remember.
The bounty hunter planet or whatever. I thought it was very interesting their take on like the spice and like the drugs. And honestly, it was kind of alluded that there is like child kidnapping and things of the and things of that nature. I thought it was very interesting that they touched on that. And there was a very interesting line that the girl said to
I had a father
uh
once.
she said, I had a father once, but then she also said, here, you keep taking some of the spice and you'll forget all about them. And just like like there's in this world that no one leaves. And child the
Dayu.
children being kidnapped and
The name of the
being put on
planet
this
is called Dayu.
Dayu. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's a
So
brand
Dayu.
new planet. It's a brand new planet established in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Enter Dayu, a location that wears its Blade Runner roots on its sleeve and is
Mhm.
filled with a whole host of lowlifes and those in search of the second chance, including a fun cameo from Temuria Morrison as an
Laura Morrison,
aging
Stormtrooper.
destitute clone. Oh yeah, that was the clone. It's also now home to a certain senator in waiting from Alderaan, with Leia having been kidnapped and whisked off to this planet during the premiere.
Yeah. The one thing I did like about Leia was you can see a lot of her mother in her. I did like that.
Oh, I did.
That part I liked. But everything else about Leia was annoying, and I don't like grading or judging child actors, but she is doing a she's not doing
She's
it
a
for me.
kid.
Yeah, she's not
Yeah,
doing it.
she's
She's
still
let's
she's
just
still
say
young and she's
yeah,
still
let's
learning.
just say she's not doing it for me, but I do like the effort. It's just not hitting it for me.
I feel like the second episode had some very janky shots and reasoning. It was very kid almost, and it really reminds me of a lot of like when you introduced the Anakin boy in the first episode.
Yeah.
So it kind of went from being this like, oh, here we are, Star Wars for the teen adult that have grown up with it, and then it adds a kid and it turns into the Benny like the Benny Hinn style, the Mr. Bean kind of like stuff, little comedies here and there, like little comedy tropes, almost like a Sesame Street version or a Nickelodeon version of Star Wars. Even the weird introduction of that guy that was the fake Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
like even his thing, like there was a part of me that was like, when they introduced him and he's like this con artist Jedi, I was like, oh, dude, we're gonna get these like weird, like Jedis that are like, well, I'm just trying to make it, dude. Like, and then you end up finding out that he's not even a fucking like Jedi. Like he's just a
Yeah.
dude, like just doing fucking bad magic magnet tricks and shit. And he ends up being like this really weird con artist that's got like kids working for him. And then later on, he ends up like joining the idea on like, dude, well, if we catch him, we can make that money.
Yeah.
And then for some reason off scene, he runs into Obi-Wan and Leia in an alley, and he's all like, hey man, I'm super noble. For no reason, I'm just completely noble, like 360 degrees from what my character was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like I am
Yeah.
this new
No, I
character now.
I definitely understand what you're saying. But I know that we both kind of agree on this one. What did you think of Riva as a character?
I thought she was cool. I feel like she was forced at first. I feel like they've kind of pushed her to be like this forefront, strong, stoic, heavy attitude character. And then you're gonna kind of like, there's supposed to be some stuff that happens later on that I don't know how they're gonna sell that. I really don't. But I mean, when they introduce her, like man, dude, she guessed who the fuck Uncle Ben was real fucking fast. or what's his name, the fucking uncle or whatever. Yeah, Uncle
Uncle
Ben,
Owen.
ain't it?
Uncle
Uncle
Owen.
Owen, yeah. Well, Uncle Ben, they're all the same. They all die the same way, and then they become Spider-Man or whatever. He man, like out of nowhere, she just boom. Hey, you know a Jedi. You fucking. I know. I've read the script. Like you know a Jedi. I know you know a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how, dude? How many people live on this fucking planet? Like every day, she just walks 3 feet and runs into Owen. Like, are there no other cities? Like, there. I think I was telling you this. Like, if there's one thing that Star Wars has a huge problem with is showing that there's more to these planets than just one city. It's almost like every city, every planet they stop on has one major city. The rest of the planet is just completely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Completely nothing. I think she was all right. I feel like she overshadowed the rest of the fucking the Inquisitors tremendously. Almost to where I was like, it wasn't even the ending of it wasn't even halfway through the second episode. And I'm watching this thing and I'm like, oh dude, she's gonna kill that Grand Inquisitor guy the first chance she gets. And then this dude shows up second episode and he's like, hey, you know what? Like, quit your shit, put your stuff away. And then she just stabs him through the stomach. And I was like, well, that was underwhelming. Like, that was super underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what they're gonna do with her character. Like, I know they're gonna build her to be like this uber badass, but I don't know why I have to feel this way. Like,
I mean, it's obvious that they're gonna go the whole route of her being one of the kids from the temple that made it out and got captured by the Sith and brought up
that's a
to
good
be
point.
raised on the dark side. I like that's the whole reason why they had that first scene in the first episode. So I get that part, but this better not be. Listen, and before I even go into anything else, she is doing a phenomenal job. Reba as a character. I love the character. She's a total badass. I love how she just went around chopping off hands and the reasoning, like, because I'm chopping off your hand because every time you reach for something, you're going to remember me.
She reminds me of this character.
I remember that was badass.
From an anime called, I don't know if you remember Ranma One Half.
No.
There's this character named Ryoga. Ryoga has a really bad tendency of just getting lost when he needs to go somewhere. He can literally see a place, but he'll always get lost. And the amount of time it takes this fucking chick to jump 3 buildings to show up where Leia and Obi-Wan are baffled the fuck out of me, dude. I was like, is she still jumping on buildings? Like they're practically in a boat already. Like, where is she jumping to? Like, this shit ended like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That was fucking.
I did.
Like weird placement.
There definitely was a moment where I was like, well, what's taking her so long? But the one thing I was gonna say is I hope to God they don't try to do some type of like redemption story, because leave her as bad as she is, bro, because like there's no coming back. She's cutting people's hands off, bro.
Let her blame the Jedi.
Yeah,
let her blame Obi-Wan for allowing this to happen.
Yeah,
like give her a rage that's like an unfathomable rage that she just can't put behind her.
1000%. I don't necessarily need. Obi-Wan is the redemption story here. Like, there should not be a redemption story. No. Let her be bad. If at the end, obviously, she's gonna run. She's not gonna die by like Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
Blade.
It's gonna be in-house. Yeah, it's gonna be like in-house. Like, she's going around killing Inquisitors and just not really giving a fuck about the order of things. So the way that she's gonna go is from in-house. So let that just ride out. I don't need a redemption story.
Yeah, I was in my mind. I'm just like, you know what? Talking about it like that, I didn't put it 2 and 2 that she might be one of the kids, because it really doesn't give you an explanation of how long it's been from Order 66 to now, has it?
10 years.
Has it been? Okay, so it's been 10 years. Yeah, I guess like if she was like one of the teenage kids, she would be around that age.
If you rewatch the first episode, that first scene, the camera is kind of centered on the older black chick in the middle.
Oh, okay. And you're thinking that should be
that was her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't even, man, shit. I totally looked past that, man. I was just like, bet, fuck them kids.
Yeah,
Like they
no,
just went
like
right into that shit. Like I called it like 2 weeks ago. That they
yeah.
were so gonna reference the Order 66 kids part.
Well,
Like, and I thought it was
that's
gonna be Anakin. That was like, yo, Obi, what's up, man? We're gonna bang. Why I enjoyed that shit. Come
yeah.
get some.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was gonna be more like that.
basically that is her origin story. That's where she, set out. And I honestly I kind of felt like those Jedis in the temple could have taken those stormtroopers. Like,
Yeah,
there
it's a
was
little
only
dicey.
a few. It was only a few stormtroopers in there, dude. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
even if you look in the very back on the right side, like 2 of them are just like casually walking in.
Yeah,
Like they're not even running to help somebody. They're just like, oh no, those guys got them. Like
yeah.
they're just chilling out.
But yeah, so yeah, I do think that
2 stormtroopers in the back throwing craps and shit in the corners. And yeah, it was
Yeah, man.
really weird, man. There was some stuff that I was kind of like, all right. I kind of feel like now that you mention it, like it's got my brain kind of racking into all the ways that it could set up this Reva character to be she'll meet up with Obi in my mind. I'm just coming off of terms, writers mentality. She'll chase him down, she'll get to him, blame him for the deaths of the kids, and then Obi-Wan will say something like, I'm so proud of you, or I'm so sorry I wasn't there, but we all have our purpose and the Force has a thing. And yeah, he's going to give her like the whole sad, sobby speech. And then Vader will come in and be like, you failed. And he's going to be like, for the Jedi, and she'll get killed off.
Yeah, no, it's been leaked the end of this, so I know exactly
Dude, you shouldn't have read
what
that
happens.
shit. Yeah,
I know
yeah,
exactly
but
what happens.
I don't know what happens. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I mean, that's the way I kind of figure this would go. If that's the case, I kind of feel like there's probably going to be like a misplacement issue of revenge where she feels that, Obi-Wan or all the rest of the Jedis, like they were so strong that they should have been there for the kids.
Yeah.
And then since she's hunting them down, she kind of tells them face to face that this is all your fault. And then when it all comes through that Obi-Wan did this, that, and this, and tried to save as many as he could, or whatever, it's gonna come out that she's gonna be like, "Haha, well, I was Jedi all along," and Vader's gonna be like, pretty much, yeah. I mean, we all know what happens. I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay. So, again, I was really floored with the idea on how they use Leia.
Okay.
So I am even more interested in the idea of what type of cameos we could be getting in this show.
Yeah, go ahead. I know that you have your thoughts about one that we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm always gonna say Mace Windu. Like I'm for the life of me, I'm gonna say Mace Windu for every day. But
Well, yeah, honestly, I thought it was kind of interesting how much Mace Windu we got in that montage in the beginning, dude. I'm just saying.
that was
we
very
got a lot of Mace. We got a lot of Mace Windu in that montage, and not only that, but we did get the specific quote from Anakin about how Obi-Wan was as smart as Yoda, but as powerful as Mace Windu. So like there was a lot of Mace Windu
little nods, a lot of tips of the hat and shit
touched on in that montage, bro.
It was very interesting on how much they really touched base. And the one thing that I really, really want to touch base on before we kind of call this, because there's really not much to talk about. It's only 2 episodes.
Yeah.
How much push and reference there is for the desire for Obi-Wan to talk to Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's crazy is I tell people all the time, Qui-Gon Jinn's character in the original series was very bland for a character. He was just very like, in the sense of character development, nothing. Just he was just a dude.
I'm gonna fight that. I think that was by design. We were supposed we were supposed to care about Obi-Wan and Anakin
and Padme,
and that's it. Yeah. We weren't supposed to get too attached to Qui-Gon, but we were supposed to understand the relationship between Qui-Gon and Obi. And I think they accomplished that.
And you know what? And I've thought about it before, and I think the way Leslie or Liam Neeson goes at the character of Qui-Gon, he portrays the way a Jedi would practically be, which is just a very boring, basic ass motherfucking individual, like
Yeah.
that just doesn't have any type of cool bone in his body. Like that was that was Qui-Gon, like for show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they wrote him perfectly as a Jedi, but he just it doesn't go well when you put it into practice. You know what I mean? But I do feel like this is going to be the perfect way for them to revisit the character, because I said this before. I think we said this a couple of weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about how we want that scene of Obi-Wan talking about, I failed you, like I failed you, Vader, I failed you, Anakin. I'm so sorry, like getting those speeches again. But I think the breakdown between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon is going to mean a lot fucking more, because Obi-Wan Kenobi blindly followed Qui-Gon's order to train this kid, and Qui-Gon made the mistake in not listening to Yoda and Mace.
Well, no, Obi was warned as well by
No, they
Yoda.
all were. But he made
They
a
were
promise, and then Yoda respected it. That's why he was like, train the kid, take him as your Padawan.
I guess.
But you know what I mean? Like Obi followed blindly because he believed in Qui-Gon that much.
Yeah.
And then to see it all come to fruition the way it did, and Qui-Gon never make a peep, and then him show up and be like, this is what you put me through. Like, this is the path you gave me, and look at what happened. And Qui-Gon's gonna be like, sorry. He's gonna be like, whoops. I mean, I thought it was a good idea at the moment. I mean, I wonder what the dynamic is gonna be, because again, Qui-Gon is the first of the Jedi that figure out that you could talk to people after they die. Like, he's the guy that developed that technique. He taught it to Yoda, and that's why Yoda's like, yo, Obi, I got a job for you. You're going to go talk to your instructor. Like, that's really cool. Alex says, in the books, Qui-Gon is given character development. Yes. In the book, Qui-Gon wasn't going to accept Obi-Wan as a Padawan. Yeah, because he's a punk. Obi's a punk. Taking little small pieces of fish when he goes home. Could be taking blocks of that shit. But he chooses not to. But yeah, overall, the story was really, really well. Episode 2 was a little bit under par. I'm really excited. So when are the episodes coming out? Are they every Friday?
No, I think they are gonna change. I read it before. I don't have it in front of me. I know. I think they're gonna switch back to Wednesdays. I don't know.
But good. I mean, I hope they're following the same time period that they followed with this one, because it being released at 10:50 made me feel so fantastic.
Yeah, I was able to do some things, get some things done, and then go watch that, as opposed to just rushing to it because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
most definitely. And it was cool that they released it early, because of course Stranger Things just popped off. Like I said, I'm gonna go out there watch it. There's a bunch of people that are gonna watch it, and they got released earlier than Kamala Khan
next week. Yeah.
Now, on a side note, there are some people that have got the opportunity to see Kamala Khan early, the first 2 episodes.
Yes, the press screeners have went out for the first 2 episodes,
and the reviews are not looking good.
I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen mixed reviews. I've seen that some people will like them and some people aren't. So
yeah. I've seen the majority of the ones that I've seen, people are coming out and they're like, the first thing they say, and this is how you know it's not good. It's just my opinion, right? The person goes, I've seen the first episode and it may not be for everybody. Like, dude, I always see that as a red flag when someone says that. It may not be for everybody. And the one that I saw, the dude goes, like, I watched it and my 9-year-old doesn't really like Marvel, but for some reason she was like, oh, Kamala Khan is really cool. And I was like, Wait a minute. Like, what are you telling me then, man? Are you telling me that from Wanda, Doctor Strange 2, and the multiverse of Sam Raimi killing everybody? Like, we're getting a 9-year-old movie or a TV show for a 9-year-old? Like, is
Why
that what we're
not?
gonna do? I
What
don't know,
what
man.
what exactly do the kids have in the
What's the
MCU?
audience for Marvel? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what the audience is supposed to be.
I mean, that's what I heard too. And to be honest with you, whenever I'm like the complete opposite. Whenever someone says a lot of people aren't gonna like it, I'm 9 out of 10 times I'm probably gonna like it because I like the shit that most people don't.
That don't like.
Yeah, so it's like that's usually just how it works out. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna miss it. I don't know if it's gonna be like 4 o'clock in the
Oh fuck
morning,
no, dude. I will not give it a chance if it's like that, dude.
but
I'll watch it the next day at work.
I'll at least say I'll watch it the next day. Yeah, I'll watch it the next day.
I really hope they just release the whole series, dude. Like, just like not episodes. Because if it's, man, dude, if it's the way that, if they're saying that it's like a 9-year-old's gonna dig it or whatever the fuck, and like a lot of people are like, nah, I didn't think it was all that great. I don't want to wait every week for another episode. You know what I mean?
Well, it's yeah. I think what is it? 6?
6
No,
episodes.
nah. Is it?
And Rob put up online right now that Wednesday, June the 1st.
Yeah, it's Wednesdays. Okay, Wednesday. Yeah.
So hopefully it's good. Hopefully the early reviews aren't as bad. A lot of people were talking about Moon Knight being the best shit since sliced bread, and me and Brian were not fans of it for the first 5 episodes. So
Yeah.
so that's always a given. So we'll see how it goes. And again, guys, next week, once it pops off, we're going to be watching it here. We'll be giving you guys our reactions. Hopefully you guys can jump into the comment sections and be a part of it too. Alex says no, because he trained someone before Obi, and that Padawan went to the dark side. Oh fuck, I can't remember who Obi-Wan trained. I'd have to look it up. It was probably off camera somewhere in the books or something. But it's a good point. It's a good point. Guys and girls, what did you guys think? Have you seen the information for Namor? Are you guys excited to see our first South American superhero in the sense of an Aztec Atlantean? Are you guys excited as much as we are? What did you think of Star Wars Celebration and all the return of Hayden Christensen, Obi-Wan, and all the good guys? What's his name? Ewan McGregor. You know, seeing the possibility of us getting a prequel to the Emperor and all that cool stuff. What did you guys think? What were your best parts of Star Wars Celebration? Have you seen the Stranger Things 4? What are your first reactions? Same thing with Obi-Wan the series. And what are your thoughts on Love and Thunder? Thor Love and Thunder. What is it? 4? Thor number 4?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Thor 4. Are you excited? Did you like Gore the God Butcher? Are you excited for the future of the MCU when it comes to Thor and his villains? And are you excited to see what they're going to do with the character? Guys, girls, thank you guys so much for tuning in on another great show here on the Average Boys Podcast. We appreciate every one of you. To our extraordinary listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and being with us. We have a comment right before we go. It says, what are you guys drinking tonight? Brian, are you drinking anything?
I'm not drinking anything.
I haven't seen
you're
dry right now.
Anything. Yeah, no,
I
man.
am drinking grape kickstart. These are like my favorite energy drinks. Mountain Dew does amazing. Grape is always my favorite flavor. And yeah, so we're drinking. Vince, it's good to see you online again, man.
Absolutely.
Yep. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys again next Friday here on the show. We appreciate every one of you. If you have any questions or you have any things that you want us and the Average Boys to check out and talk about on the show and bring up in a future episode, let us know. Hit us up in the DMs, private messages. Don't forget to like us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google, anything you listen to your shows on. And don't forget to go check us out on YouTube and Twitch. Go check us out. And Instagram. We got Instagram. Brian does that. Brian on the Instagram, man.
Listen. I am slacking on my Mackin with the Instagram, but trust me, once I get everything, my whole schedule all planned out this next upcoming week or two, I will be more socially active on Instagram. So if you see anything in your stories or your feed or whatever, it's me. Shout out, say what's up. Oh, yeah, all that stuff.
Don't forget to go around and just gore everybody like this. Like, don't forget to do that to everybody. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate every one of you, and we'll see you again next week here on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate every one of you, and we'll see you again next Friday. Later.
Peace.